All right, y'all. So this video is not going to be for everybody. Now, if you are somebody that want to hear me tell a 5 or 10 or 15-minute story, this ain't one of them stories. In fact, this story right here is one of them stories that's going to get you through your shift. If you a truck driver, if you a CNA worker, or you a warehouse worker, and you like to have that Bluetooth in your ear, you want to hear some good story time, this one right here is for you. It's Friday, and it's only right that I give you a Freaky Frederick Friday prison story. So here it go. So we in a day room, and as y'all know, every Tuesday we get a brand new batch of inmates, right? So you got me and my crew over here. And for those that didn't know, me and my crew was running a protection scheme in prison, okay? If you felt like your life was in danger or you wasn't built like that, you will come to me or one of my associates and ask for protection. And we will protect you for a fee, all right? So you got me and my crew over here. You got Freaky Freddy, he over there with his white boy. You got KB over there doing what he doing. You got Tall T, Homicide, the Bloods, the Crips. You got everybody that's in there going about their day. But we all, it's basically waiting for them doors to pop so we can see who come in. Now, the reason why we waiting to see who come in, because, well, with me and my crew, we trying to see who we can not extort, but we trying to see who we can offer our services to. And then you got Freaky Freddy and his white boy over there. He over there looking to see who he want to devour. And I know if you've been listening to my stories, you already know who Freaky Freddy is, but some of y'all might be like, who the white boy that Freaky Freddy got? Well, this white boy was one of them country bammers. He was one of them white boys from the country, but he was big and strong, but he didn't have it all in his head. You know what I mean? He was kind of slow. And Freaky Freddy, he basically turned him out, and he made him like his assistant in a way, where he was like his enforcer. Now, for those that don't know who Freaky Freddy is, his really name is Freddy Frederick, okay? He's about 60 years old. He's a homosexual, older black male, and he has no shame in his game. Now, he ain't the type that'll force himself onto you. He the type of dude that'll get you in debt, and then when it's time to pay him back, he don't want commissary, he wants something else. That's Freaky Freddy in a nutshell. And that's how he programmed. Now, the doors pop, and here come the inmates. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm looking, me and my crew looking. We don't see nobody that look like they got money. Now, this is how you know if somebody got money. They coming now. Usually, when you new in prison, they give you one laundry bag, right, full of, deodorant, mouthwash, toothbrush, 5 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, some drawers, some socks, stuff like that. So you usually got one laundry bag. Now, if you come in there with 2 or 3 or 4 laundry bags, then I know you got something. Now, for the people that's out there think like, oh, Donta, you was picking and choosing who y'all was offering protection to, you dang right. See, let me tell y'all something right quick. Prison, either you're going to be predator or you're going to be prey. There's no middle ground. All right. So, that was just how I was in there surviving. I was offering protection services to inmates. All right. And yes, I was picking and choosing. So anyway, so I'm looking, and okay, I see a guy coming in. He got about 3 bags. But he looked like he done been down for a long time. So I'm like, all right, we gonna skip past him. We see a couple other dudes. They don't look like they got no money. Then we see another guy. I'm like, nah, he don't look like he got no money. So we like, all right, nah, we just gonna let this batch come on through. Now, there was a white kid that came through. This white kid name was Jason. All right, Jason. He reminded me of that guy off of, what was his name? I can't think of the dude's name, man, but he was like on the Disney Channel or whatever. Justin Bieber, that's what he looked like. He looked like Justin Bieber. So when he come in there, I see Freaky Freddy. He just, the way he was looking at him, it was like, you know how a man see a woman and no. Do y'all remember that episode off of Life when Can't Get Right seeing the warden daughter and he dang near came in his pants? That's how Freaky Freddy was looking at Jason when Jason came through. So when Jason came in, you know, I already seen Jason, and Jason, he didn't have much. So I didn't even, you know, I didn't have no reason to interact with him. So, but I noticed Freaky Freddy eyeballing him like a mug, right? So Jason ended up going to his cell, and everybody else that came through, they went to their cell. So me and my crew, we get back to doing what we doing. So I see Freaky Freddy, he head right over there to Jason's cell, and I hear him talking to him, and he like, hey, you good, you straight? And Jason was like, yeah, I'm good. He like, you got any food? You need any noodles? You need any honey buns, anything? I run the store. And Jason like, well, yeah, I am kind of hungry. What time do we go to dinner? Now, at this time, y'all, dinner time was 4 p.m., all right? So it was like 5:30, so he just missed it. Jason just missed dinner. So he like, nah, well, you just missed it. Breakfast ain't until 7 o'clock. So, I mean, I got things in my cell if you want anything. You know, I run a store, and right now I'm doing a 1 for 3. And Jason like, what you mean a 1 for 3? He like, well, I tell you what, if I give you a pack of noodles, you owe me 3 noodles back, right? So Jason like, that's kind of high. He like, hey, well, I mean, you can give me something else if you want. And Jason like, what? Give you what? And he was like, oh, nothing. Matter of fact, come to my cell. When you done, get yourself together, come down to my cell. He like, well, where your cell at? I'm right across, right there. I'm right there. So he was like, okay then. So Freaky Freddy extended his hand like a handshake, was like, and my name is Freddy too. If you need anything, you know, just holler at me. Just come straight to me, man. So Jason was like, all right, cool. So Freaky Freddy just walked off and went to his cell, right? So the white boy Jason come out, and he just looking around. Now, let me let y'all know something right quick. For you new inmates that might find yourselves in the penitentiary, understand this. When you get in your pod or your dormitory, wherever you at, and you do not stay in that cell, come out of that cell and look around. Listen, I know it can be scary. I know it's a new environment and that you're not comfortable in, but you have to come out and show your face. You have to. And there's many reasons which I'm about to break down to y'all right now. One of the reasons to come out that cell after you put your stuff in there, wait, before we even get to that, make sure nobody is following you in your cell, okay? One of the most dangerous places in prison is your cell, okay? Especially if you don't know nobody in this pod or whatever, and have your head on the swivel. Your head need to be looking like an owl, okay? You got to be looking 360 to make sure nobody ain't following you, making sure somebody ain't trying to set you up, 2 or 3 guys. You always be on the lookout, okay? Second, come out of that cell. That way people will know, like, okay, this guy ain't scary. This guy, you know, he's trying to make his way around here. He getting in the mix. This, you know, you ain't got to be afraid. You ain't got to be timid, okay? But you ain't got to be friends with nobody neither, okay? But just come out the cell so people can see your face and they can, you know, see what you about, feel you out. You can feel other people out, all right? But that's one of the key things. Come out that cell. Do not stay in that cell, okay? So he come out, and he looking around, and people looking at him. He looking at us, and he just start walking around the pod. So we call it the track, okay? So you basically start from the control booth and you walk to your left, keep going, go under the stairs, keep going, go by the shower, keep going, and there's a complete circle around the pod, right? So he just started walking the track. So I ain't really paying too much attention to him, because me and Homicide discussing some business. So I see Freaky Freddy pop out the cell with some commissary, and he run up to Jason like, hey, here you go. And Jason like, oh, okay, thanks. And he was like, how much I owe you? So Freaky Freddy's like, no, don't worry about it. We'll discuss that later. Now, what I seen, he gave him 2 big bags of Doritos, and he gave him 2 honey buds, and I believe that he gave him 2 soups. So he gave him about 6 items, right? So Jason goes back to his cell, and he go drop off the commissary. So he comes back out, and him and Freaky Freddy just walking, right? They walking around the pod. So I'm looking, I'm like, here he go. So then Al, he come out of nowhere. Al like, hey, man, I'm tired of dude. I'm like, cool. He like, man, Freddy, man, we need to get him up out of here. I said, listen, we cannot tell that man how to program. That man been here 10 years before we got here. He's still gonna be doing what he gonna be doing. Let that man do what he do. Al was like, no, but Dante, man, we don't condone that type of. I said, exactly. We don't condone that activity amongst our crew. That's why J-Rock ain't with us. So, you know, but we can't tell these dudes how to program. So Al was like, man, all right. I said, and I'm like, so then Homicide was like, what's up with you? He talking to Al. And Al like, what you mean? He was like, man, hey, that's a white boy, man. Let that white boy figure it out his own. And Al was like, man, it ain't just because he a white boy. It's just I'm tired of that stuff that Freaky Freddy out here doing, man. I said, Al, man, listen. You need to mind your business. Let me tell you something about Al. Al was a righteous dude. Despite Al getting locked up and doing his crimes and doing his dirt, but Al was truly at heart a righteous dude. And, you know, he really disagreed with that type of lifestyle. And whenever he seen that going on, it was hard for him to restrain himself and of him wanting to go hands-on with somebody that's practicing that lifestyle, right? Because Al was like a man of all men. And you know what I'm saying? So when he seen Freaky Freddy setting up his play on a white boy, he felt like, man, this is ugh. But y'all got to understand this also. This is prison. You cannot, I tell y'all all the time, I can't tell another man how to program. Freaky Freddy had dang near 50 more years to go. This one OG told me something, right, that was from my city. He said, because me and Al and a couple of my homeboys was pushing, like, hey, if you indulge in that activity, you getting up out this pod. That we went on a crusade, and this OG from my neighborhood told me, like, listen, you can't, how you gonna tell a man that got life that ain't never going home? You going home in 10 years, Dante. You and the rest of your partners, they got 5, 10, 15 years. Y'all are going home. In fact, y'all could be eligible for parole real soon. But how you gonna tell a man that got life what to do with his penis, dog? And I'm like, what you mean? He said, man, this ain't, you ain't this dude daddy. These dudes will kill you up in here, man. How you gonna tell a man what to do with his penis when he got life? He ain't never going home. He ain't never gonna see a woman again. He would never be with a woman, so he gonna be with the next best thing. And I said to myself, like, you know what? Yeah, you right. He like, no, I need for you to really listen, because this ain't your final stop. I hope when you leave prison you don't come back, but you might go to another prison, and one of these dudes might put a knife in your neck because you trying to tell them what they can and what they cannot do, man. You better watch that, man. You can lose your life doing that. So I sat back and I really thought about that, and he was right. You know, how can I tell a man that got life without parole that ain't never coming home, that ain't never gonna touch or feel another woman in his life unless he got the gift of gab and got a little money, and hopefully one of these CO females might break him off, but that's unlikely. But outside of that, you know, that's why me and my people left that alone. We just said, yo, like, that's why we left Freaky Freddy alone. But I had to let Al know a couple of times, like, yo, let dude do what he do, right? So anyway, Al come to me and he like, yo, so like 2 days later, Al come to me and he like, yo, Dante, man, the white boy came to me and asked for some protection. And I'm like, did you go to him and you tried to offer him protection? I said, don't lie to me, Al. He was like, yeah, I did. I told him about Freaky Freddy. And I said, Al, didn't I tell you? He was like, no, it ain't that. Look, so when I went on my visit, Freaky Freddy was pressuring dude, like coming up on him, talking about, hey, boo-boo, and all this stuff, just being real aggressive with the white boy and telling him like, yo, you can come in my cell and get anything you want, and and telling him like, you know, you can settle your debt with, you know, certain favors, right? And Al said that, you know, he seen that the white boy was uncomfortable, and he kept telling Freaky Freddy like, yo, I'm not gay. I don't get down like that. I'm gonna give you your stuff back. And he said that Freaky Freddy just kept hounding him. He said one time when I was on my visit, like I was just saying, that the white boy went to the shower and Freaky Freddy white boy came in there on him. And they basically cornered him and told him like, yo, you gonna have to give us something. And the white boy was like, no, man, I'm not gay. I'm not about to do that. I'm not doing none of that stuff. And Al said he walked in there and told Freaky Freddy them to get up out of there. And they left out of there. So now when I come in, I tell Al, like, listen, go tell the white boy to come to my cell. I'm gonna holler at him. So then he come to my cell. I'm like, yo, Jason, so you do know who I am, right? He like, yeah, you like the pod boss. I said, nah, I'm not the pod boss, but you know, I get stuff done. But my man Al told me that you looking for some protection. He like, yeah, man, the guy, Freddy, I done got in debt with him, and he talking about he don't even want commissary. He don't want his items back. He want me to do stuff with him and his homeboy, and I'm not gay, and I don't get down like that. And I said, okay, so why did you take his items? He like, because he dang near forced the items on me. I said, but he didn't put a knife to you and make you take. He's like, he almost did. I mean, he just kept giving me stuff, and I was hungry. I said, listen, this is how we gonna do this, because you gonna have to pay him back. And he like, but I said, hold on, just be quiet. I said, you gonna have to pay him back, but I'm gonna let him know that that's a no-go on you. And he like, okay, I appreciate that. I said, no. Don't tell me you appreciate that yet. But I'm going to tell you how this going to do. You're going to have to pay that man back. And we going to hold a meeting. And we going to hold the meeting right now. He like, what you mean? I said, I'm going to bring him up in here and we going to talk this out. Because he ain't letting that debt go. He ain't getting what he think he going to get. But we going to set that up. So I motioned for Al to come in the cell, and I said, go get Freaky Freddy and let him know we need to talk right now. So he go get Freaky Freddy, and Fred come up in there. He like, what's up, Dante? What's up? What's going on? And I'm like, we got to talk. So he looking at Jason, and Jason got his head down. So I'm like, so he owe you? He like, yeah, he owe me. He owe me a lot, DT. He used to call me DT. He owed me a lot, DT. He done ran up a debt with me. I said, yeah, he told me that, and he also told me that, you know, you keep trying to advance on him. He like, come on, DT, you know me, man. These dudes know what they get into. I said, listen. We gonna settle this way. Jason, and he looked up at me. He said, yeah. I said, are you a homosexual? He said, no. I said, have you ever done anything gay? He like, no, I'm a straight man. Man, I got a girlfriend at home. Man, I got a little kid at home. No, I don't do anything like that. I said, Frederick, you heard what he said. He like, man, man, what do he mean by that? I said, Fred, you heard what he said. He's not a gay guy. He not curious. He don't want nothing what you trying to give him. However, I know, hold on, Fred. I know he owe you. I know he owe you. So this what we gonna do. He gonna work it off. He gonna clean your cell. He gonna iron your clothes. He gonna do whatever you ask. He gonna clean your shoes, clean your drawers. But as far as that other type of activity go, that's dead. That's over with. He like, man, DT, listen, DT, we done had this conversation. I said, hey, yo, Fred, listen, we not doing that. I know, listen, I know I can't tell you what to do, but I'm telling you what to do right now. This is a straight man, and he ain't going for it. And he like, man, DT, man, but man, he violate, and you violate. You stepping on my toes. You stepping on my toes. I said, hey, listen. So y'all just need to work out how long he gonna be working for you to work this debt off, or until his people be able to give you this. I said, how much he owe? He said, bro, he owe me 50 items. Jason was like, no, I don't. I owe you 20. I said, hey, be quiet. You owe him 50. You owe him 50 items. If that's what he said, that's what you owe. Now, check this out. How long do you think that it'll take for him to pay that off if he can't, produce you the commissary? He said, I want him to clean my cell and give me his chicken trays and his hot dog trays and his burger trays for the rest of his life. I said, no. We not doing that, Freddy. Like, come on, be reasonable. What can he do? How long? He like, man, 6 months. I said, how about 3 months? He was like, man, okay, I guess. I said, so this is what this gonna do. Jason, you got to get this man your breakfast tray and your dinner tray for the next month. And you also got to clean this man's cell every Friday. And you got to wash his clothes every Friday. All right? For the next 3 months. Is we good? We good, Fred? He like, yeah, man, I guess. I said, we good, Jason? Yeah, we good. So I said, all right, y'all, it's dead. So Jason walk out, and then Fred walk out. As Fred walking out, he like, man, I got to have that, man. I got to get me a piece of that, man. I'm like, yo, Fred. He like, man, no, DT, no, man. No, man, I don't tell y'all how to do y'all business up in here. I said, yo, what is you doing? He like, no, man, I got to get me a piece of that. I got to get me a piece. So I'm like, yo, Fred. He like, no, man, no, you messing up what I got going on, man. Forget all that. I said, so what you want to do then? He like, man, Dante, I ain't. So as he talking, you got Homicide coming up the stairs, and his bloods. You got Tar T coming that way with the Crips. You got Al coming through with a couple of my other homeboys. And as Fred, I guess Fred is in a rage, and he not realizing, like, oh shoot, the homies descending on me right now. So I say, yo, Fred, I'm gonna need for you to chill. He like, man, all right, man, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone, man. So he just walk off. So everybody like, you straight, D? You straight? I said, yeah, he just going through a little something. So as he go down the tier and going towards his cell, he like, man, I got to get a piece of that, man. I got to get me a piece of that. So I'm like, man, this dude is so freaked out, man. So about 10 minutes go by, and I hear the white boy that, Freaky Freddy done freaked out, like his assistant. They in there arguing. And I guess he like, I don't know what they arguing about, but I'm assuming it's about Jason. And of what I think I heard, they was arguing about him saying like, yo, just let it go. His assistant telling him like, yo, just let it go. And, you know, just am I not enough for you, you know, type. Like it sounds like two people in a relationship arguing. So I'm like, man, these dudes just, all right, whatever. So they end up fighting. They get to fighting in there. So you get to hear the smacking noise. And he like, don't put your hand, the white boy like, don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me no more. Right? Now, remember, yo, this is a big white boy. This is a really big white boy. I mean, he's really big. He's about maybe 6 foot, 320, but like in round. Not muscular, but like big and round. So he like, don't put your hands on me. Fred, don't put your hands on me. So Fred like, shut up, shut up. Next thing you know, we see Fred getting pushed out the cell, like he fall, like he get thrown out the cell. And the white boy like, I told you don't put your hands on me. He was going dumb. Don't put your hands on me. I told you don't put your hands on me. So we all looking like, what the heck going on? So the guard that was in there was like, hey, y'all better cut that out. Y'all better cut that out or I'm gonna lock it down. I'm gonna lock it down. So Fred jump up and he turned and he looked right at Jason and was like, man, hey, I'm gonna get me a piece of that. I don't give a what Dante talking about. I'm gonna get me a piece of that. So then him and the white boy start tussling, him and his assistant. They get to tussling and the guard like, all right, lock it down, lock it out, lock it down. So go to your cells. So we like, man, all right, man. So we are going to go lock up, and Freaky Freddy and his sister, they locking up. They basically wrestling at this point. And Freddy like, yo, stop, man. Yo, chill before we have to go to the hole. Chill. He like, no, is you gonna stop putting your hands on me? And he like, yeah, man, yeah. So the guard was like, hey, I'm letting y'all know right now, if y'all don't stop right now, I'm locking y'all up. See, Freaky Freddy, he was a store guy in there. He definitely did not want to get locked up because all the money if Freaky Freddy would have got locked up, he would have been screwed because he would have went to the hole for maybe a week or two and dudes would have been that old him would have been like, yo, I ain't got it, or, you know, this happened, that, every excuse in the world. And Freaky Freddy, he wasn't the type that'll push that blade at all. But you really didn't want to cross Freaky Freddy because, let's say, see, he always, his comments, I don't know what he did. I don't know who was sending him money, but he stayed with commissary. And you didn't really want to, you know, run a foul on Freaky Freddy. You didn't want to not pay him because what had happened is, you know, he'll deal with you up until you try to play him. Like if you screw him, and I ain't talk about it in that way, but if you borrow something from Freaky Freddy and you don't pay him back, and you a type of dude that he don't want no friction with, you know, he just won't deal with you no more. He'll just be like, nah, you remember you still owe me this or that or whatever. But anyway, so he didn't want to mess up his money. So he like, all right, cool. We done. We were just playing, officer. We were just playing. So they had to go lock up, right? So it's about 11 o'clock and they doing count now. So the guard coming through doing count, right? So now we gonna say fast forward to 12 o'clock, about 12 at night, right? Midnight. You got Freaky Freddy, like, we can hear him. And he like, hey, Jason, hey, can I get a piece of that tomorrow? And Jason like, hey, man, hey, stop talking to me. Like they yelling at each other across the cell. I'm thinking it's funny at this point because he just kept antagonizing him like, hey, Jason, can I get a piece of that tomorrow? And Jason would be like, no, man, I told you, man, I don't get down like that, man. Stop talking to me. And he like, well, you know, you got to take a shower and, I can rub your back and you can clear your debt if you meet me in the shower tomorrow. So him and Jason were just going back and forth all night. right? The next morning come, right? They pop the cells, we do count. Now, Freaky Freddy, he usually don't go to the chow hall for breakfast at all. He has sent his assistant to go there, right? But this morning he gets up and he's going to the chow hall. So that was odd. And then I thought about it. The reason why he going to the chow hall, because Jason going to the chow hall, and Jason owed him breakfast and dinner, right? Now, this is where this story takes a crazy turn. Now, what I did not know when the doors popped, Al, yeah, my homeboy Al, my right-hand man, Al gave white boy Jason a banger. And white boy Jason went to the chow hall for breakfast. And Freaky Freddy came in there right after him. And I guess when they was in the line, Freaky Freddy jumped in front of a couple of cats to get right behind Jason. And he kissed him on the neck. Yeah, that's right, y'all. He kissed him on the neck. I don't know, Dylan, for who you hear the story from, but Jason freaked out and was like, I'm not gay. I told you I'm not gay. And he pulled out that banger and he planted it on the side of Freaky Freddy's head. Now, one thing for sure that I know that all stories was accurate. When he banged Freaky Freddy in the head with the banger, Freaky Freddy got to running around. Oh, he stabbed me. He stabbed me. Help. So Freaky Freddy done got rocked on the side of his head with the banger, and the banger broke off on the side of his dome piece while he running around screaming. And Jason is standing like, I told you I'm not gay. I told you. Well, the code was called, the alarm started banging, everybody had to lock down again, and they got Jason up out of there and they got Freaky Freddy up out of there. Freaky Freddy did not pass away. They had to airlift him up out of there for them to pull that knife up out of his skull. We ended up seeing Freaky Freddy like 2 months later. Jason, unfortunately, there was guards that see him did what he did, and they ended up shipping him off to a level 5 max. Let me tell y'all something right quick. True enough, you got to protect yourself in there. However, if you get caught with a banger, that's 2 to 5 years. And if you injure somebody, that's 10 years. Whatever time Jason had under his belt coming in, I want to say maybe 5 years, got 10 more years added, 15. Yo, prison is a dog-eat-dog world. Dog-eat-dog world. And you got to do what you got to do to survive. Prison is a place that, what I call the terror dome. You got cats like Freaky Freddy out here that's freaked out, that's talking about, I got to have that. I got to get a piece of that. Right? So freaked out. And you got cats like me and my homeboys that's offering protection to cats like Jason that can't stand on their own too. Listen, the moral of this whole entire story is, number one, stop committing crimes if you out there committing crimes, so you don't have to go to prison, so you don't have to find yourself coming to Donta and his crew paying us for protection, or you find yourself getting involved with a cat like Freaky Freddy, where you borrowing in commissary items from this dude, but he wants something more back, and he don't want no food back, he wants something else. Anyway, I need for y'all to do me a favor right quick. Let me know in the comments section where y'all from. Okay, put your area code in the comment section. I'm putting 810 in the comment section to represent Flint, Michigan. Y'all hit that like button and stay tuned. This prison story is about when a man that owed his cellmate a debt did not want to pay him, so he eventually got sold to Freaky Freddy for a box of Nutty Buddies. Now, before we go on with this story, I need for y'all to do your big partner Donta a favor right quick. It don't cost you nothing. I ain't asking for no Cash App. I'm not asking for no PayPal. The only thing I'm asking, no. The only thing I'm demanding is for y'all to hit that like button, share the video, and let me know where you from in the comment section. If you from Detroit, if you from Atlanta, if you from Wisconsin, if you from London, if you from Europe, if you from Antarctica, let me know in the comment section where you from. You can put your city there, you can put your state there, you can even put your area code there. Let me know where you're from, and shout out to the most electrifying commentators on YouTube, which is y'all. We back. All right, so it was a Friday afternoon, right? And we'd all down there playing cards, dominoes, and Monopoly. Now, let me know in the comment section, do y'all rock with Monopoly? Because me, Donta, that's my favorite board game, period. I love some Monopoly. I can play Monopoly all day. I know, I'm getting sidetracked, and I'm sorry, y'all. I tend to do that. Let me get back on track. But anyway, we all down there, playing games or whatever, and this white dude come through. Now, I seen this white dude throughout the prison, and his name was Charles, right? I didn't know too much about him or anything. He wasn't a punk for what I could understand, what I could see. He was just one of them regular white guys that, probably was here for stealing Cadillac converters or, what I'm saying, little petty drug charges, whatever. So when he came through, we just looked at him. He's a regular face around the prison, so it wasn't about nothing. Now, I don't know why he got rolled in our pod, in the evening, because that's kind of unusual, but it's not like it never happens, right? So he come through and he get in the cell with this dude named T-Bone. Now, T-Bone was this older black dude from Detroit. T-Bone was one of them dudes that all he liked to do is talk about what he used to do in the streets. Oh, T-Bone was the Birdman. T-Bone was the Brick Man. T-Bone had all the hoes, right? T-Bone had all the money. T-Bone had a limousine. T-Bone just was that dude. But the funny thing about T-Bone is that with all that drugs, all them hoes that he had, T-Bone would never catch the stove. And y'all say, well, Donta, what you mean? What is catching the stove? T-Bone ain't never had no money, no commissary. Ain't nobody never put nothing on T-Bone books at all. But he was just so big gangster and this drug dealer and this pimp and all this, right? But never caught the stove. So T-Bone was literally one of these guys that will be living off the land. And all my prison dudes know exactly what I mean. Meaning he's going to that chow hall breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He eating that state prison food, right? Y'all notice when I said prison, I know for the people that been watching the live, y'all know who actually say that like that. Shout out to Alabama. But anyway, so like I said, he living off the land. He living raw and rugged. Pause. Right? So whenever T-Bone get anything outside of the 3 meals in the cot, he's going to hold on to that. Now, T-Bone done accumulated maybe 2 bags of Doritos, maybe 2 or 3 Gatorades, and maybe, I don't know, maybe two honey buns. He living raw like that. He's real grateful for whatever that he gets, right? So the white dude, Charles, ended up getting put in the cell with T-Bone. So I'm like, okay, so he in there with T-Bone. Okay, that ain't nothing, right? So over the course of, let's say, 2 weeks, T-Bone and white boy Charles, they in there jailing together. I guess it's a good match, But I noticed, like, every time T-Bone will go to the microwave, white boy Charles would be right there with him, right? And I know a lot of y'all might thinking, like, oh, he turned him out. No. This ain't that type of well, it is, but towards the end, right? T-Bone ain't he ain't one of them dudes that indulge, okay, at all. And I don't think Charles is neither. But I noticed, Charles always up under T-Bone. Like, every time T-Bone hit the microwave, Charles right there with his cup. Charles right there with his bowl, right? So I'm peeping the game. It's like every time T-Bone gets something, Charles won't half of it, right? And that's not normal for y'all to be sellies or whatever that, y'all share, because y'all basically living in the same house together. So, look out for me. I look out for you when I'm hungry. You know what I mean? But I noticed Charles was doing this every day, on the clock every hour. Every time T-Bone hit the microwave and he warming up coffee, who's right there standing to the right of him? White boy Charles. So he hit him out, bam, bam, bam. Now, what I did not know was that white boy Charles was telling T-Bone, like, hey, listen, my mom's, she gonna bless me when on the next week when we catch the stove, I'm gonna repay you back A, B, C, and D. I got you, right? So I guess this is why T-Bone is allowing him to leech off of him, because white boy Charles basically told him that he's going to be reimbursed and more for looking out for him, right? Now, here's the dangers of that, okay? Because I've done seen this happen many, many, many times, where you will get a new cat that don't nobody really know, roll up in here, he'll get next to somebody, start borrowing things, telling cats, yo, I'm going to pay you this, I'm going to pay you that. When store day come, I'm good for it. I got you. But then when store day come, he disappears because he done checked in. He done went to the guards and said, yo, I fear for my life, man. They going to try to kill me up in here, man. So they got to take you out of there and put you in the hole. And you'll be in the hole depending on, what sergeant or what captain actually took the case. You could be in a hole for a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months. And you hoping that, okay, maybe the guys that you ran off on done forgot. No. Niggas don't forget. Cats don't forget nothing. I done seen cats that ran that play and they get out and they get put in the same block or the same pod or the same side of the prison. And now they got to explain why they end up going to the hole. And it'll be some BS. Oh, somebody snitched on me. Oh, I got caught with something. But I got you. It's the same. These are just the same penitentiary games that, cats play in the penitentiary, right? So anyway, I thought when I heard him talking about it, I said, okay, so he just not, I know T-Bone character, and T-Bone just not giving out anything for free. So I figured the white boy is basically, telling him, I'm going to hook you up. I don't know if that's the case, that he's going to try to check in. I don't know that to be true at this point, right? So anyway, it's Thursday, and now tomorrow is Friday when we catch the stove, when we can go, when we fill out our bubble slips and see what we get in, what we going to get from the stove or whatever. So, it's kind of hectic. Me, Al, Tall T, Homicide, we walk in the cell doors with people that we was offering protection to, going to their cells, letting them know, look, we need A, B, C, and D for this week, for commissary, for protection. I'm running my, running what I'm running, what I got going on, me and my homeboys. It's a busy day, right? So I hear, Charles telling him, white boy Charles telling T-Bone, like, yeah, man, it's going down, man. We finna have a stove. We finna get so much stuff, man. We gonna be even running the stove in here, right? And T-Bone like, yeah. He like, yeah, because remember, y'all, T-Bone ain't really got nothing. Like I said, everything that T-Bone get, he value it, he cherish it, right? So now you got this white boy in the cell that's promising you the world, talking about, yo, everything is, man, we about to be living large up in here, right? So he talking greasy, but that ain't really none of my business, because me and my homeboys out there, you know, putting in our orders or whatever. So anyway, Friday come. Here go Dante. I'm coming back with 4 big bags of commissary. You know what I'm saying? I got chips, ramen noodles, Debbie cakes, honey buns, all summer sausages, got the nacho squeeze it. All that. I got everything that you need to live like a king in the penitentiary. Not only that, I got my homies, Al, Torty, Homicide. Listen, we all got big bags of commissary. And me, out of all them bags, I get 40% of everything out of them bags, because that's just how I was living. Now, y'all can say cap and all that y'all want to, but the real ones already know. Right? Anyway, so, you know, I'm in my cell, and I see Freaky Freddy. You know, he comes back. Freaky Freddy got his laundry bags. He got 2 of them. Ain't no thing. And he go to his cell, right? It ain't nothing out of the ordinary. And I know a lot of y'all was wondering, like, thank God, now he's introducing Freaky Freddy. Because Freaky Freddy was irrelevant until this point right here. And you know when Freaky Freddy get, you know, introduced to the story, something about to go terribly wrong. All the way wrong. Now we about to enter the Terror Dome. Now, so Freaky Freddy in there, and he busting down his bag, and he putting his stuff up, because y'all know Freaky Freddy runs a store, right? Freaky Freddy don't need nothing. For anybody that don't know who Freaky Freddy is, because I know we got probably 10,000 new subscribers that have no idea who Freaky Freddy is. Let me let you know who Freaky Freddy is. Freaky Frederick, right, is an old school convict in his 60s. He has no shame in his game at all. He'll tell you up front and let you know what it is. And what do I mean by that? If you are a new inmate and you come in there and you have nothing at all, oh, Freaky Freddy will give it to you. You need a pack of ramen noodles, he got you. You need some honey buns, he got you. You need some deodorant, he got you. You need some toothpaste, some Colgate, a toothbrush. Freaky Freddy got you. He a store man. But Freaky Freddy gonna let you know off the rip. Listen, if you don't got my money, if you don't got my items, I'm gonna need something from you. And what I want from you is that. Now, due to YouTube regulation, laws, and policies, I can't go into great detail of what he's gonna want back. Let's just put it like this. He don't want no excuses. He wants your manhood. And that's the bottom line to it. So when you go in there and you strike a deal with Freaky Freddy, understand, if you don't have that man paper, if you don't have that man commissary items when it's time to pay, oh, there's something else that you're going to have to pay with. And he make that 100% clear, right? So anyway, T-Bone comes back from working out, and white boy Charles is sitting on the bed looking pitiful. So I'm ear hustling at this point, and I hear T-Bone like, hey, bro, why you ain't go to the store? White boy Charles, and I heard this many, many, many times in the penitentiary. White boy Charles like, man, my mom, she ain't sitting it. She playing games. T-Bone like, what? He said, yeah, man, my mom, she playing games, man. She talking about her Social Security check. You know, she didn't get that. She didn't have enough, you know, after the bills or whatever. So T-Bone like, okay, what that got to do with me? I done gave you everything that I had in here. I don't have nothing else. Like, no, you're going to have to do something. You going to have to go. You going to have to, he was clapping his hand. You going to have to get my money. You going to have to get my money or something going to happen. So white boy Charles like, what I supposed to do, man? I don't have anything. My mom only gets Social Security. And T-Bone like, man, I'm not trying to hear that Social Security talk, man. You knew that your mama only had Social Security before you start eating up all my food. It's bad enough I don't get nothing. I don't get nothing in here, man. And you got in this cell telling me that you was going to be giving me this, giving me that. I'm here giving you coffee shots every time I do a cook up with the food that I earned. And you just right there eating up my food, telling me, no, man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. No, go get my, man, go get my. So white boy Charles like, man, I can't give you what I ain't got. He like, T-Bone like, hey, man, dog, go get my. So at this point, y'all, he's standing. Now listen, this is not out of the ordinary. When it's stow day, this is normal behavior. They're always guaranteed. When it's Burger and Friday, there's going to be at least 4 or 5 fights. When it's stow day, it's going to be at least 8 or 9, maybe even 10 fights. It's always going to be an argument. It's always going to be cats giving excuses. It's always going to be something when people just can't do right. This is why I didn't gamble. This is why I didn't get involved in certain activities. The only activities I was involved in was offering a protection services. Some of you people might call it extortion. But hey, it's like this. You are paying me from stopping other people from doing something to you, right? I think that's in fact, I think that was a good deal for certain inmates. Because truth be told, if I wasn't offering the services that I was offering, a lot of guys would have been having a rough time in prison. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it a bean. Shout out to Philly, right? So anyway, he like, yo, I'm not trying to hear that. Get my money. I don't want to hear it. Get my money before I do something to you. Charles like, I can't give you what I ain't got, man. I can't give you what I ain't got. So he said, you know what? I'll be back. So at this point, everybody looking that way like, oh, shoot, T-Bone about to pop it off, right? So T-Bone leave his cell. And he goes directly, beeline, straight to Freaky Freddy's cell, right? Now, I don't know the exact words. I don't know exactly what T-Bone told Freaky Freddy, but Freaky Freddy gave him 10 boxes of Nutty Buddies, right? So all I'm thinking is like, God dang, there's a lot of boxes of Nutty Buddies. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, he not about to run the store, not just with Nutty Buddies. Like, what's the play? Because I was that type of dude that always was observing everything and everybody and just trying to figure it out. Like, why did he give him all these boxes of Nutty Buddies? Like, it don't make no sense. And then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. I done seen this play before. Yeah, I done seen this play. So he goes back to the cell, right? And Freaky Freddy comes to the cell 2 minutes later. He's standing in the doorway. And then he actually walked in their cell. And I'm like, oh, snap. And about 3 minutes later, you see the white boy go to the bubble. And he asking for a cell change. So I'm like, hold on. I know dang well. And then about 20 minutes later, the white boy go back to the cell with T-Bone, and he pack all his stuff up, and he goes to Freaky Freddy's cell. Now listen, I can only assume at this point, but like I said, I done seen this happen over and over again. Basically, for the white boy to clear his debt, right? White boy Charles, for him to clear his debt, he was sold to Freaky Freddy for them 10 boxes of Nutty Buddies. Now, I done seen Freaky Freddy, get involved in certain activities because of people over him and him letting it be known. But this was the first time that I actually seen in real life a transaction between two inmates of selling the inmate to another inmate. Man, listen, this prison story is about when OG tried to take Leonard Cheeks in prison. Now, before we go on with this story, y'all already know what time it is, okay? Hit the like button. Come on, y'all. Stop slacking. Hit the like button. And also, let me know in the comment section where you're from, all right? Whether you are in Atlanta, Philly, Detroit, Antarctica, New England, London, Japan, China, wherever you are, let me know in the comment section. Now, here's the thing. I done did dang near 2,000 videos. And for some strange reason, I get this email. And it's this older guy. He's in his 50s, and he done did tax fraud or tax evasion or whatever. And they giving him 1 year and a day in prison, right? So he asked me, like, what should he do? And I said, well, I mean, you going to the Fed, so you get a year and a day, so it shouldn't be too bad for you. They might just send you to a camp or something, so it won't be too bad for you. Now, here's the thing that was struck me as odd, and I'm gonna get into the prison story. He told me that, well, I have a lot of money. And, you know, is it true that I could just pay some gangs or whatever to protect me? And I said, well, you could. I mean, I don't see no harm in that, but at the same time, you're going to the Fed, so you're going to have to go with, it depends where they send you. You either going to have to go with your state, your city, or a white organization. I don't know. But, you know, nevertheless, I said, yeah, you can pay your way, pay for protection. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm about to tell y'all a story where that backfired. So, matter of fact, I think I told y'all this story 2 years ago, but just in case if y'all didn't hear it, here it go now. So anyway, so I'm in a chow hall, right? It's breakfast time. You know, I'm in a line. I got my Texas toast and my 2 boiled eggs and this nasty oatmeal. But, you know, you got to eat the oatmeal to, you know, put the weight on your body. So I get my food and I go sit down at the table, right? So I'm eating my food. Ain't nobody really in there. I take the 2 boiled eggs and I stuff it in my pocket and I roll up out of there. As I'm coming out, there's a white guy that walks in, right? In prison, and some files, they have on your file, like for the deputies to see, they have something that's called scared, SCARD. And one may ask, what do scared mean? Well, this is what scared mean, that you just have that scared look on your face. The guards actually have that in some people's profiles, that there's some, you know how some women be like, oh, she got a rest and be face. Like this chick always looking mad, but she's really nice or whatever. She just got that look or whatever. Well, there's some cats in there, especially white guys, that just have this super scared look that is even in their profile. And I'm not talking about scared like, oh, that's a scary looking guy. No, the description, I'm saying like you're terrified, like you like a mouse, like, oh, get me out of here. That type of face, right? So this is the type of white guy that rolled in. And I look at him and he fit that whole description as maybe weighing 110 pounds, for 5'8", 5'9", maybe. Look like he ain't never lifted a weight in his life. Just the glasses. So, you know, he just fit that whole stereotype. So, you know, it dawned on me who this guy was, right? Now, for those that want to know who this guy was, I'm going to give y'all a quick, brief synopsis about this dude. A couple years back, before I actually got to the joint, I was in Oakland County, right? and this white dude, this is the white guy, but this white dude, I guess he was a construction worker, or he was the foreman. He was something high ranking. He basically owned the company or whatever, this construction company, and he had a lot of bread, but he could not keep his hands off his wife. You understand? Every time he get drunk, he'd put his hands on his wife. Now, I didn't know the dude out in the street, so I don't know what it's like, but I could tell off his vibe that, you know, he wasn't a monster. I could tell he wasn't like a woman abuser, but that does not negate the fact that, you know, he was beating up his wife every time he got drunk. And I don't know what demons he was dealing with, but outside of that, you know, dude seemed like a cool guy or whatever. So I remember in Oakland County, we was in a blood dorm, right? And you remember I told y'all, if y'all don't remember that story, this dude was hooking everybody up. He was looking out for everybody. He kept money on damn near everybody books. He was doing big cook-ups, well, buying all the ingredients like every day for the cook-ups. And look, in Oakland County, I believe, oh man, I ain't been locked up since so long, and thank God. But in Oakland County, y'all can order out. Y'all can get like special food. You can get, I think, like Domino's or like I remember some type of pizza. I think it was Domino's and some other stuff you could order out. And I remember like cheeseburgers and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, hey, if anybody here from Detroit or Wayne County in that area or Pontiac, Michigan or whatever, let me know, can you still order out in Oakland County Jail? But anyway, he was hooking everybody up. And then these guys that just wanted a little bit more, that just wanted, you know what I'm saying? They end up beating him up and like really beating him up and robbing him. You know, a lot of people felt like, man, why did y'all do that, man? He was looking out for everybody. But, you know, they was like, well, effort, man, he a white guy anyway. And, you know, that didn't sit right with me. That didn't sit right with a lot of people. But, you know, and lockup, that's just what it is, man. Even though it was wrong, yeah, it was wrong. But anyway, yeah, so fast forward. It's him. He's here in prison with me. So I walk out and I'm like, man, that dude look familiar. So then I turned back around and I got behind and said, hey, you from Michigan? He was like, yeah. I said, was you in Oakland County some years back? He was like, man, yeah, I probably was. I said, no disrespect, but do you be like beating your wife when you get drunk or whatever? He now at this point he just staring at me like being real inquisitive. He was like, yeah, I may have. I said, man, I know you, man. You was the guy that was looking out for everybody in the pod. And he was like, that sounds like me. Yeah, that sounds like me. I said, what's up, man? What you doing in here? He was like, well, you already said it. It was the last time. Caught my last DUI, and, you know, my old lady, she was getting on my nerves, and I ended up smacking her in front of a cop, and I assaulted the officer, and, well, I'm here. I said, well, welcome to prison. So I said, how much time to get you home, boy? He said, oh, I'm only doing 2 years. I said, oh, okay. I bet. I said, I'll catch you later, man. So I pimped off, right? About maybe 2 hours ago by, somebody got stabbed on, I think, A Yard, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, A Yard. Somebody got stabbed on A Yard. So they locked the whole prison out. Anytime somebody gets stabbed or there's a vicious beating that done took place, like a really crazy fight or whatever, they locking all the yards down. Everybody got to go to their cells. If you in a dorm, everybody, it's just that way, right? So everybody in lockup, everybody got to go to their cells, right? So we come off a lockdown, right? Here he come. He comes in with 3 other cats. I guess wherever they was at, they needed to clear out that whole dorm and move these dudes around. Everybody that was in that dorm or whatever, they got sent all over the place. So he ends up in our dorm, right? And he comes in, and I forgot his name, man. I want to say Steve or Steve-O. I don't know. I keep, or Frank. No. That was his name, Frank. Okay. His name was Frank. Yeah. Yep. His name was Frank. So we're going to call him Frank. So when Frank came in, I was like, hey, yo, Frank. And he was like, hey, what's up, buddy? I said, hey, man, come here, man. You can get in my cell. Now, look, the reason why I told him that, because I knew he had money, right? And at this prison I was at, I didn't really have too much motion going on. I didn't really have that much of a hustle going on because it was too treacherous there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you really couldn't run a store because the guards was tripping, like really tripping on contraband. Like, if you had too much of something, they come in there and they getting it, right? If you got over 20 soups, they coming to take it. If you got 1,000, if you got 1,500, if it even looked like you running a store up in there, they coming in there and they getting it, right? So I was like, nah, I ain't even gonna, I'm just gonna, just do me or whatever. But hey, if you got a cellie that's getting it in too, they can't really do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So I instantly, told Frank, like, man, you can get up in here with me. So he said, all right, cool, bet. Right, so he get in there, and I'm like, man, so what happened? He said, man, look, we was there playing dominoes, and next thing you know, this black guy comes out of nowhere and get to poking this other black guy, and that was it. They locked everybody down. And I said, dang, what was it about? He said, I don't know. It just happened so fast. I don't know. I got up and I ran. I said, word? He said, yeah, man, I just got up and ran. It was none of my business. I said, okay. I said, hey, you got any shrimp? He said, nah, I ain't got no shrimp. I got some chicken. I was talking about the noodles, y'all. He said, I got some chicken noodles. I said, nah, I want some shrimp. And he was like, oh, well, okay. You want to do a cook-up later on? I said, yeah, we can do a cook-up. I got these eggs, too. He was like, oh, okay, for the breakfast? I said, yeah. So he's like, all right. So I asked him to go get me some boiling water, right? Because I was about to start doing me a soft press on my tortillas, right? So he goes out with the water, right? And then this black dude by the name of Sam pulls up to my cell. He like, hey, Donta, who the white boy? Oh, I said, oh, that's this cat that I knew back in the county jail some years back. Why, what's up? He said, you know who he is? I said, yeah, I know him. I don't know him like that, but I know of him. Why, what's up? He said, hey, find out if his name's Strawberry. And I said, Strawberry? He said, yeah, find out for me his dude name. Matter of fact, F it. I'm finna go ask him. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I'm watching him from my cell, and he's walking towards Frank. But then he stopped and didn't go the other way. So I'm like, what the heck? What the heck was that all about? Okay, anyway, whatever. So Frank come back to the cell. He put water right there. I pull out the tortillas, right? And I'm dipping them in there, and I'm starting to cook up, right? I get the nacho jalapeno cheese and get the spreading it on there. And then I get the summer sausages, just cutting it up, right? I'm making me a swole, right? I get the hot Cheetos, crunching them up and, putting it out there on the spread and everything. So yeah, it's about to be that, right? Anyway, so I make two of them. I make one for me and I make one for Frank. So we sitting down there on my bunk. He over here to the left. I'm over here to the right. I say, hey, grab me two of them Mountain Dews right there. I got you. So we chopping it up. I like, hey, Frank, let me ask you a question, man. He like, what's up? I said, hey, they call you Strawberry or something? And he was like, why would you say that? I said, just curious, man. I heard through the grapevine that somebody was, just asking around to see was your name Strawberry or whatever. So his whole demeanor changed. Now at this time, I'm not even looking at him, y'all. I'm focused, sitting on my swole, right? And he like, I don't know, I just felt his whole energy change. He was like, what did they say? I said, I don't know. I mean, somebody just, asked me a pass and like, yo, is that dude named Strawberry? And I'm like, I don't know who that is. So he was like, well, I got to talk to you about something. I said, what? He was like, I ain't been completely honest. I said, well, honest about what? It was like, man, I don't got no 2 years. I actually got 12 years. I said, you got 12 years? He said, yeah, I actually got 12 years, and I actually been locked up for 5 years already. I said, okay, what did you do? He said, well, I got in here for assaulting an officer and, DR and, slapping my old lady up, but yeah, I actually got more time. I said, okay, man, that ain't nothing. I mean, cats lie about their time all the time. I get it, He like, yeah, but I've been here for a while. I said, I ain't bet, whatever, man, I ain't tripping. So he said, well, yeah, I know who Strawberry is. I said, okay, well spit it out. What's up? He's like, yeah, they call me Strawberry. So I said, Strawberry? He said, yeah. I said, why do they call you Strawberry, man? So he said, when I first got here to prison, there was this black dude named Bo that, that kept pressing me for, to be with him. And I kept telling him, like, I'm married and, I got a wife and I'm not into that type of stuff. So I said, okay, go on. He was like, well, for like 3 months, man, this dude just kept pressing me. Like every time I go to the shower, he'd be there. When I go to the chow hall, he'd try to sit next to me. Like when I walk in the yard, he'd be there. It's like this dude always just kept popping up and always being around me, man. And, one day he cornered me in a cell. I said, oh, man. He said, he just basically told me he wanted to lay down with me. I was like, okay. So I said, so what happened? He said, well, I just laid down. I said, what? He said, yeah, I just laid down. I just let it happen. I said, Frank. He said, yeah, I know. It was messed up, but I just figured I didn't want to get beat up or anything. I said, hold on, Frank, did he threaten you with anything? He was like, no, he didn't threaten me, but I just felt like he just wore me down. He wore me down mentally, and I just had enough, so I just let him do it. And it just kept happening and happening and happening. So at this point, y'all, I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, Frank, you gonna have to leave out the cell, bro. He like, well, why I gotta leave out the cell? I said, because, it's already cats that's asking me if you Strawberry, and, if you got that type of reputation, I can't be tied into that. You know what I'm saying? I can't be having cats associating me with you because we sellies. And he was like, oh, no, bro, I'm not like that. I'm not like that at all. I said, no, it ain't that you. I know you ain't like that, but at the same time, I'm fairly new here. You've been here. And, and to be honest, I feel like you kind of tricked me. Because, you, like, if you lied about how much time you got, I understand. And you probably didn't want me to know how much time you have for whatever reason. But what else did you lie about? So he was like, all right, man, well, okay, I guess. I said, look, you can spend the night here, but tomorrow, you're going to have to roll out, He said, yeah, I know the procedure. I know what I got to do. I said, all right. So nothing really eventful took place for the rest of that night. You know, he was up there reading his Bible. I was down here watching my TV. And matter of fact, Home Improvement was on. Home Improvement was on. I was watching Home Improvement. And I ended up going to sleep, right? Now, this was on a Friday. So Saturday, you don't have to get up for count until about 11 a.m. So, you know, I slept in or whatever. So when I actually woke up, he was gone. Frank was gone. So I'm like, okay, well, he done packed up. He done left. All right, whatever. Right? No harm, no foul. So the first yard was at noon. So I go hit the chow hall before they close at 11:30. I go there. They were serving boiled eggs again. They always, for nothing, they always got you boiled eggs and Texas toast at minimum, right? So they had some Texas toast, the boiled eggs, and they had grits this time. The grits was okay when you put sugar on it, right? So I go hurry up and go eat or whatever, and then I go hit the yard. Now, here's where it gets real wicked. So now, here go Dante. I'm hitting the yard, and I see this dude that I knew from Muskegon, Michigan, right? I ain't gonna say his name because I found out he got bad paperwork, like real bad paperwork. I ain't talking about no deviant stuff like he was a snitch or whatever. And I don't want to put his name out there because, you know, some of his people know me, and I don't really feel like getting into all that street politics talk. But this dude, this was a hardcore snitch from Muskegon or whatever. Snitched on his crew, and, you know, he still had to do some time. But anyway, so I see him, and I say, yo, what up, blah, blah, blah. He like, what's up? I said, shoot. Nothing. He said, hey, you know Strawberry? I said, man, what's up with this Strawberry, man? Why everybody keep saying that? He said, yeah, man, yeah, everybody was saying that, you know, he got into it with some guy in y'all dorm or whatever, and that's why he went over there with his man. I said, his man? They're like, yeah. I said, well, Frank, you know, I don't know him as Strawberry, but Frank was in my cell. You know, after he told me that he was Strawberry, you know, I told him, you know, he had to roll out. He said, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I said, well, why you bring that up to me? He was like, because he over there right now with him. And he in full blown, like he out there. I said, you lying. He said, yeah, he right there. Look, y'all, I go over there, right? So they got bleachers right here by the basketball court. Why Strawberry? Frank, right? Frank is sitting in between the legs of this black dude, right? This black dude named Bo. Dude was one of them old school convicts that been locked up since the 80s, right? Drug possession. He ain't never getting out. Y'all know the type. Dude, athletic built, black, bald head, 6'2", 6'3", maybe 225, 230. That type, right? And Strawberry, a.k.a. Frank, is sitting in between his legs while he got his right arm over him. Like they just chilling like they a couple. I guess they is a couple. I guess this is his man. Listen, y'all, it almost was like light and day of the transformation. Frank, a.k.a. Strawberry, he dyed his hair, right? I guess you can get certain Jolly Ranchers or whatever and put it in a bucket, and you know what I'm saying? And I guess that's how they get their lipstick and they to dye their hair and stuff like that or whatever. But this dude had like rosy cheeks from the dye or whatever, and his hair was like red, like the tips of the middle of his hair was like laid down red, looking like a straight up white woman. right? And I said, damn, Frank. I didn't say it to him, but I just said it under my breath. And he looked at me, and then he just looked back down at the ground. I just kept walking. Let me tell y'all something about prison. Prison is a place that it's not for everybody. There's a lot of people that's going to find themselves and has found themselves in the penitentiary. You see, I knew Frank from years ago in Oakland County, years ago, and he showed everybody love. And then there was two black dudes that just wanted to be greedy and keep Frank all to themselves, and they end up beating him down and just mess up the whole program. The thing about Frank, he was too nice. Frank didn't have that eye of the tiger inside of him. Frank told me when we was in the cell that this black dude just wore him out mentally, right? Exhausted him. He said he didn't take it by force. I just gave it to him because I was tired of the dude pressuring me. There's a lot of people out here that get pure pressured into doing things that they don't want to do. There's a lot of cats that end up in prison because somebody pure pressured them to do something that they didn't want to do. If there anybody out there that might got people that's in their lives that's trying to steer them the wrong way, hey, you should sell drugs, or oh, you should carry this gun, or whatever, that's trying to influence you to do something bad that'll get you taken up off these streets, get them up out your life. Because believe me, once you go up that road to the penitentiary, they not going to be there. Nah, They going to be like, man, he's stupid. He should never did it. Yeah. So, hey, man, listen. Let this video serve as a warning, because there are a lot of Franks out there that go to prison and get turned out and get turned into strawberries. You understand? It's a sad story because, like I said, dude was cool outside of him getting drunk, putting his hands on this woman. But, hey, maybe it was karma. But then again, I don't know what was going on in that household with Frank and his wife. I don't know. Was she nagging too much? I don't know. Was she putting hands on him? I don't know. Or was he just an alcoholic that put his hands on her because he just felt like doing it? I don't know. But what I do know is Frank mentally wasn't there, because my whole thing is, and I get it, everybody is not a fighter. Everybody don't know how to, pick up a sword of justice and, at least flash it or let a cat know, like, yo, leave me alone. Frank, a.k.a. Strawberry, said that this dude been pressuring him for months. Just on it. But I guarantee you, if Frank would have got a hold of some steel, because Frank has some money, he could have easily paid somebody to, get some steel or some type of protection. Or maybe he did pay for protection and cats played him. I don't know. But for sure, he could have got him a banger for real. And if he would have let homeboy know like he ain't with it, or maybe he wouldn't have had to lay down and get with it willingly. But nevertheless, it's a sad story. I don't know where Frank at. I don't know. I ain't been locked up in damn near 11 years at this point. So I don't know where this dude at. But, hey. If y'all haven't hit the like button, hit the like button for me right quick. Let me know where you at. Let me know where you're from in the comment section. And with that, y'all, I got 2 new channels. That's right, y'all. 2 new channels. And I'm going to have both of them pinned at the top of the comment section. If you into horror stories or the back rooms, if you know, you know. That's the type of content I'm doing on one of my other channels, right? So if you enjoy that type of content, that's what I'm working on right now. I got a couple episodes on there too already too. So yeah. With that, y'all, this is the Donta Show Network. Y'all are the network. There would not be no me if there was not y'all. So I appreciate when y'all hit the like button and let me know where y'all from in the comment section. With that, shout out to y'all. I'm out. This prison story is about when Freaky Freddy tried to press up on Fish for 2 packs of cigarettes. Now, for those that don't know who Freaky Freddy is, and for those that don't know who Fish is, I told many stories about Freaky Freddy, right? And I told maybe 3 stories about Fish. Now, Freaky Freddy was from Detroit, Michigan, and Fish was actually a guy that I knew back from Flint, Michigan. Now, the reason why they call Fish, it wasn't because that was his name in prison. No, this was his nickname back in junior high. I don't know exactly how he got that name Fish, but it stuck, right? Before we go any further though, I need y'all to do your big partner Dante a favor, okay? Number 1, I need for y'all to hit that like button. And number 2, I need for y'all to let me know where y'all from. And I'm going to tell y'all why I need to know where y'all from. Just in case, if Elon Musk allow me to get on the first rocket ship to go to Mars, right? And let's say is a malfunction, right? And it's going out the atmosphere and I got to bail out. I need to know that wherever I land at on the earth, right? On whatever continent, whatever country, city or state or town, I need to know where y'all will allow me to come lay on your couch until I get rescued. So let me know in the comment section where you from. Also, y'all, I started my gaming podcast, okay? My gaming podcast. I'm going to have the link to my gaming podcast at the top of the comment section. All right, now let's get to the story. So, Fish came into our dormitory, right? I believe it was Friday. It was Friday because it was Burger Friday. Now, everybody know on Burger Friday, it is going down. It's almost, I ain't even going to say almost, it's guaranteed that out of 100 men in this dormitory, at least 20 fights is going to pop off because of these burgers and these fries. Because you got cats out there, what I like to say, ass betting, right? And these dudes will sit up there and be gambling trades that they don't have to give. And somebody is going to go without. Somebody can owe out 3-4 trays, right? And they only got 2 trays to cover debts. Somebody going to go without. And somebody that's going without ain't going to go for it, right? So Fish comes in there and he come right over there to my section, right? Because I'm running the Detroit, Flint, Pontiac, Saginaw, Benton Harbor, and Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids car, right? So he comes right over there, because Fish, at this time, Fish been down for about 9 months. So he know to get down, right? But Fish never met Freaky Freddy, but we finna get to that. Also, y'all, this whole entire week, right? This whole entire week, I'm just going to do Freaky Freddy stories. So today is Monday. Tomorrow you're going to get a Freaky Freddy story Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. So anyway, yeah, we're doing a Freaky Freddy series this week. So anyway, Fish rolls over there and he like, hey, what's up, Dante? I said, what's good? I said, you straight? You need anything? He said, man, I've been jonesing, man. You got any cigarettes, any Newports? I said, yeah, I got a couple of them. Why, what's up? He was like, man, like, how you running it? How you running it? And what he mean by that, because everybody know that I ran that store. So what I would do with the cigarette game, I would, if you want one cigarette, you got to give me 3 back, right? But in commissary, I would say give me 2 packs of noodles, right? For basically, if you take 1 cigarette from me on store day, I need 2 packs of noodles back, right? Or I need 2 honey buns. So if that makes sense. So 1 cigarette right there will cost you that. So I said, okay, check this out. I'm going to give you 5, right? I'm going to give you 5. So I need 25 packs of ramen noodles, or you can mix and match it with other commissary items. So he said, okay, bet, right? Yeah, it was real expensive up in there, right? That tobacco. So I did not know that fish developed a chain smoke habit. I didn't know this. So when I gave him them 5, you know, he bounced off. He rolled off. I don't know where he went. I don't know what he did. But he came back like 10 minutes later. It was like, hey, Dante, listen, I know I owe you, 25 items, but you think I can get another? I said, Fish, come on. I said, hey, listen, Fish, check this out, man. I know we from the same city, but I'm not finna let you owe me no 50 items, bro. That ain't happening. He like, man, Dante, man, I'm Jones, and man, I really need it. I need it bad. Now, Fish wasn't a bad guy. Fish wasn't, he wasn't a creep. He wasn't he wasn't somebody that will intentionally try to get over on you or anything. So I said, you know what, Fish, here go a whole pack. I blessed him with a whole pack, y'all. That I could have got maybe 300 items off of. I just tossed him a whole pack, right? I said, here you go. He said, what's up? I said, Fish, I tell you what, give me your tray. Give me your tray. We can call it even. The whole whop. Now, this cat's looking at me like, what? Dante, are you serious? But they ain't say nothing. But they looking at me like, hold on, man. Did Dante really just get this old dude a pack for a tray? Oh, man. Right? So I tossed it to him. He said, I got you. I said, hey, Fish, I'm going to tell you right now, if I don't get that burger and fry, I'm going to kill you. He said, oh, man, Dante, come on, man, you looked out for me. You looked out for me, bud. This a blessing. This a blessing, bro. It's a blessing. I said, all right, Fish, I'm not playing with you. You better not get that tray up to nobody else. I promise to God, Fish. He was like, I got you, Dante. I got you. So he bounced off, right? Again, y'all, I got to put a pause. Again, I started my new gaming podcast channel. I'm going to have it pinned at the top of the comment section. All right. So anyway, he bounced off. And so Al was like, hey, Dante, man, what's up? I said, what you mean, what's up? He said, man, why you let Fish get the whole pack like that? I said, first of all, that's my pack. Okay, y'all don't dictate to me who I give and, let people slide on or whatever, man. What you mean? He said, but that was 3. I said, Al, man, mind your business, man. He like, all right, man, I ain't trying to tell you how. I said, well, it looked just like that you trying to tell me how to run my store. He like, all right, Dante, my bad. So about, I don't know, let's just say an hour go past, right? A whole hour go past. Now, I'm over here watching the National Geographic Discovery Channel. I think it was Shark Week, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, and that's a pleasure for me to watch the sharks, chomp on people, they chop on people or whatever. So I'm watching it, and Fish comes over there, and he like, hey, Dante, I'm finna go get your tray. I said, all right, bet. So, the guy coming in, people coming to me, the trustees coming in there with the trays or whatever. And so I get up right quick and I put my hat right there at my seat so people would know don't touch that hat because, I'm sitting right there. So I get up there, I go get my tray, and I'm sitting right there, and I got my spread right there, right? And cats coming to me that owe me fries, cats coming over there that owe me burgers or whatever, and then cats is coming over there, you know, dropping off the food or whatever. And I know I probably don't need to say this because we all adults, but some people don't understand this and don't know no better. In prison, matter of fact, in any place, but especially prison, never, ever put your hands on another man's food with giving him the items, okay? Because I done seen a lot of dudes get their head bust wide open because they done put their hands on somebody's fries and put it on their tray, or they put their bare hands on somebody's burger and put it on their tray and then get their head busted to the white meat, right? So cats coming over there, you know, I'm taking the fries, I'm taking burgers, whatever, you know, cats coming over there and I'm giving out what I owe the cats or whatever. So in the long run, you know, I've had like 3 burgers and like a mountain of fries, whatever. So I'm good, right? So Fish come over there, he drop off his tray, good. So me and Fish Gucci, we good, right? So I happen to look over there and Freaky Freddy is standing in his doorway. And he's looking at Fish, right? So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Remember, y'all, this is Fish's first day in the pod, right, in his dorm. So Freaky Freddy is standing there. He just walked right over there to Fish, right? Now, I'm pretty sure, you know, Fish heard about him. I'm pretty sure somebody pointed Freaky Freddy out and told him, like, yo, he the store man, or you know, stay away from him if you ain't like that, or, you know what I'm saying? Somebody have to put Fish on game about Freaky Freddy. Now, you know, a lot of people would say, oh, if he over there talking to Freaky Freddy or Freaky Freddy over there talking to him, it got to be something sexual. It got to be some type of demonic activity that Freaky Freddy trying to put out on him. But that's not always necessary. That's not always, you know, that's what's really going on. Freaky Freddy could just be hollering at him about some other type of business. But with my experience, Freaky Freddy sees a new guy coming here. He sees, you know, Freaky Freddy always watching. He's always watching. He always trying to look for an opportunity to assert his dominance or put himself in somebody's life, right? And what better else to see a new guy coming in here that ain't got no commissary, ain't got nothing, just gave away his tray, right? So Freaky Freddy is an opportunist. So he went over there, and so this is the conversation. So he walked up to him, he said, hey, how you doing, young blood? So Fish like, I'm good, man. What's going on? He said, I noticed that you smoke cigarettes. He said, yeah, I do. You got some, OG? He said, yeah, I got some cigarettes. I got a couple cartons. He said, bet. He said, but it's going to cost you, though. And he like, man, well, what is going to cost me? Is you going to charge like Dante charged me? Because Dante do 1 for 3. He said, nah, I don't need no food. I don't need no commissary. But don't you step over here right quick. Come step in myself so we can talk personal. I don't want everybody in my business, right? Now, like I said, y'all, I don't know if Fish know about Freaky Freddy. I don't know if anybody put him on game. I'm assuming somebody did. I'm assuming his cellmate did. I don't know. Or maybe he didn't. So I see Fish walking over there and he go to Freaky Freddy's cell, right? Now, Tar T is lingering around Freaky Freddy's cell for some reason. I don't know if he just eavesdropping. I don't know if he about to do a deal with somebody close by the cell. But Tar T hears the conversation, and I'm about to give y'all the conversation that Tar T told me. So Tar T, okay, so basically when Fish get in the cell with Freaky Freddy like, listen, I don't play games at all, right? I don't need no food. You see what I got. I got all this food and, you know, all this hygiene, and I got everything that you would need, right? But, you know, I'm just like this, man. If I'll give you a carton of cigarettes, right? You know what I'm saying? That could get you, I mean, how I seen you smoking them cigarettes, that'll get you straight for about a week or a week and a half. You know what I'm saying? But I need something from you. And Fish like, what do you need from me? He like, man, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. You know, just hear me out. Just hear me out. So Fish like, what's up? What is it? He like, listen, man, I've been in here for 15 years now, right? And you know, sometimes I get lonely up in here. And Fish was like, okay. And Freaky Freddy was like, listen, sometimes I get lonely up in here, and you know, sometimes I seek companionship. So Fish like, what do you mean companionship? Like, what do that mean? He like, listen, I'm gonna scratch your back by giving you this carton of cigarettes, but I'm gonna need for you to scratch my back when the time comes. And Fish like, well, what do you mean scratch your back? What did that mean? He like, listen, I want to have sex with you. So Tar T said it got quiet. Now I don't know. This is what's coming from Tar T because he's right there by the cell, so I don't know. So Tar T like, it just got real quiet, and then Fish walk out the cell. Now Fish didn't have no cigarettes in his hand, so I'm assuming that, you know, he like, no, I'm not with that. I'm not doing that, right? Rightfully so. Now, I seen when Fish leave out the cell, boom. And I guess that was the end of it. So I thought, right? So next thing you know, about 10 minutes later, Fish goes to Freaky Freddy's cell and he knock on the door. He say, hey, man, come on with it. Let me get the carton. Let me get the carton. So Freaky Freddy gets up and he goes to his stash and he gives him the carton. Now, as he's handing Fish the carton, he like, now you know what comes with this, right? And Fish like, yeah, man, I know. Now, at this, I hear the conversation now, y'all. Everybody kind of watching at this point. He like, yeah, man, I know what you said. I got this. I'm good, right? So he like, all right, man, you know what comes with this. So he give him the carton and he runs to his cell, right? So the next couple of days, Fish is out there smoking good. When I say Fish is smoking good, Fish out here clouding, y'all. Fish is, he done broke down two cigarettes, y'all. Rolled a fat one up. I mean, he's smoking like he's smoking a cigar out here, right? He's smoking good. The fourth day comes around. Freaky Freddy is heading to the shower. I did not know that Fish was already in the shower, right? So Freaky Freddy is heading to the shower. So he pushes up on Fish while Fish is in the shower. And I guess Fish tell him like, no, man, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because this is what I heard. Because I was standing in the line to get in the shower. And I hear Fish say, hey, man, I'm not doing that, man. No, I'm not doing that. And you hear Freaky Freddy say, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I gave you them cigarettes. And so it get quiet. And then you hear Fish running out. Fish like, man, move. And he run out of there. And then Freaky Freddy comes out and he don't come all the way out of the bathroom, but he like stick his head out. He was like, hey, well, you going to have to give me them cigarettes back. You going to have to give me all them cigarettes back. I want double. I want 2 cartons, or you going to give me that ASS. He said the word, but I just got to spell it out. So we all looking like, well, hey, it ain't our business. He knew what time it was. It is what it is, right? So Fish is in the cell now, right? And Freaky Freddy comes out the shower. He go to his cell. About 15 minutes to go by, and Freaky Freddy comes out of his cell, and he beeline straight to his cell, right, to a Fish cell. And he's standing at the doorway. He was like, hey, man, you thought I was playing with you? I told you what was going. I told you what I needed if I gave them cigarettes. And Fish like, man, listen, man, we just gonna have to fight, man. We just gonna have to fight. So Freaky Freddy like, hey, no, I'm not taking no loss, man. I need what I need, or you gonna have to give me 2 cartons. So Fish was like, man, listen, I ain't got nothing. I don't got nothing, man. I don't got nothing. So Freaky Freddy like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to hear that, man. You knew the deal. So now, y'all, what I'm about to tell y'all, I don't know if this part happened. I was not in that cell. I wasn't even nowhere near the cell. I was on the second tier towards the right corner. So I couldn't see nothing and I couldn't hear nothing. Okay. This was told to me by my homeboy Carl that lived right next door to Freaky Freddy. Right? Before count, it's like a 30-minute window where there's no guards in there, right? Now, my homeboy Carl was in Freaky Freddy's cell playing poker. He said that Fish, now I didn't see this, y'all. He said that Fish walked in the cell and told Carl, like, hey, can I talk to him right quick? And he was like, yeah, what is it about? That's what Freaky Freddy said. He was like, I just need to talk to you, right? So he told my homeboy Carl to, step out for a minute. Carl goes to his cell, and he can hear because the vent is right there. Freaky Freddy puts up the white sheet, right? And he said, what's up? He said, I got your money. And he like, well, where's it at? Where's it at? And he said that Fish pulled down his pants and said, I'm the money, and laid down on the bed. Now, I don't know, because I wasn't there to hear or see this. But that is what I was told, because word get around. Right? So, don't say, oh, Dante, why you put Fish business out there? Listen, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what Carl told me. Now, here's some things that y'all might want to put on y'all mind. Whenever a white sheet goes up, it's not always for sexual activity. You could be, break it down to pack. You could just doing something, where men do that's heterosexual, It's many things that can be going on. But 9 times out of 10, if Freaky Freddy got the white sheet up and there's another male in there, something is going on. And like I said, Carl didn't have no reason to lie. He said he heard Fish say, I'm the money, and laid down on the bed. Now look, y'all, I need for y'all to do me a favor right quick. I started a new channel. It's a gaming podcast channel, right? I'm playing off the PS5. So if y'all want to, rock out with me, my gamer tag name is the Donta Show 88. Okay, that's my PS5 gamer tag, right? So what we do over there, do y'all remember the Pterodome panels with, I bring everybody up and we just be chatting and talking? That's what it is. But the thing is, I'm just playing the game, right? Fortnite and Warzone, zombies, stuff like that. So if y'all interested in that type of content, I'm going to have the link to that channel pinned at the top of the comment section. And with that, y'all, I'm out. One day, Freaky Freddy coming to the pod, right? And I never met this man. I never met him. I never knew who he was or nothing. So every Tuesday, we get new inmates, right? So he comes in, and he looked like a regular black dude. It wasn't nothing special about him. So when he comes in, he actually comes in with 3 laundry bags, right? Now, in my head, either he got clothes in them or he got commissary. Nevertheless, me and my crew was involved in certain things like offering protection for commissary. Or, how can I put it? If you got something that we want, where you can either give it to us or give it to us. Yeah. So anyway, I beamed in on Freaky Freddy. So he's over there at the control booth getting his cell assignment, right? He ends up getting put in my cell. Now, at this time, I didn't have no cellmate. So when I heard the guard say the cell name, I instantly get up and I go right to the cell, right? So I'm standing in the doorway. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "What's up, man?" He was like, "Can I come in?" I said, "What's your charges?" He was like, "Listen, man, I've been down for about 15 years already, man. Like, you don't need to do all that." I said, "You got bad charges?" He was like, "No, man, I ain't got bad charges, and I will tell on you if you." I said, "Whoa, hold on. What you mean? You a snitch or something?" He was like, "No, I just ain't got time for the games." Now, let me let y'all know. In Jackson, if somebody goes to the guards and tell them that you are asking for their paperwork, you can get thrown in a hole or you can get written up. And he knew this, right? So, yeah, you don't supposed to ask people for their paperwork, but at the same time, I'm asking for that paperwork. They don't have to show you it, but, hey, the guards can't be everywhere, right? So, me knowing that he know what he talking about, I just go ahead and let him come in. So, I gave him a regular spiel. You got the top rack, whatever, whoop-de-woo, right? So he like, "Hey, I see you running the store in here, man." I said, I'm the store man in here." He was like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of funny because I run the store too, where I just came from." I said, "You run the store too?" He like, "Yeah." Now, if y'all been listening to my Freaky Freddy stories, y'all know that Freaky Freddy was a store man too, right? So he like, "Oh, so how that's gonna work?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I don't know how this gonna work, but we'll just see. We'll just see." Right. So for the first couple days, me and Freaky Freddy, we didn't bump heads. We didn't have no issues. We were just programming, right? I didn't know that Freaky Freddy was, a homosexual at this time because he never showed me that he was. He never talked about anything. He never said nothing that would give me the slightest hint that he was like that, or he would have been up out of there, right? So a whole week go by, right? And like I said, everything cool, we jailing together, we selling together, everything is cool, right? Until that next Tuesday came around. Now, y'all know every Tuesday, just like last Tuesday and the following Tuesday before that, and so on and so forth, you get new inmates. Now, there was an inmate came in there by the name of Lil Kim, right? Lil Kim was this short black dude out from Philly, right? But Lil Kim, he basically got turned out some years back by this older black dude, right, named George. So Lil Kim come in there. And I noticed, like, every time we get new inmates, everybody watching, everybody trying to see who coming in, because you don't know if you got beef with this person or it's an enemy or it's a friend. You want to make sure you got eyeballs at that door, making sure you see who comes in and who's going and coming out, right? So I noticed Freaky Freddy was on the tier and he just eyeballing Lil Kim, like eyeballing him. So I'm like, okay, now listen, I could have been tripping, but in hindsight, I wasn't tripping because, hey, it is what it is. So I'm noticing, Freaky Freddy looking at Lil Kim a little extra too hard. So I rose up on him. I'm like, "Hey, you know, homeboy?" He was like, oh yeah, that was my bunk mate. That was my cellie from the other dorm where I got transferred from. I said, that was your cellie? He was like, yeah, he mad cool. He mad cool. Hey, I finna I'm finna hook him up with a care package. He ain't got nothing. I said, hey, let me talk to you in the cell right quick. He was like, all right, what's up? I said, you was in the cell with him? He was like, yeah, what's the problem? I said, how long was y'all in the cell together? Because we just actually came off of an annual lockdown. And with the annual lockdowns, whoever you in the cell with, you have no choice but to be in there with that person. We was on this annual lockdown for 2 months, y'all. So if the only way you get out that cell, if you get out that cell on an annual lockdown, you go into the hole until it's over with. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt of just saying, was y'all locked in because of the annual lockdown or what? He was like, no, man, we actually been in the cell together for a whole year. And so I said, y'all was in the cell together for a whole year? He was like, yeah, man, yeah, he cool, but yeah, I'm about to give him a care package. I said, hey, listen, you know, you've been in here for a week now, and you said you done got 15 years in, and I don't know where exactly you did your time at, but you know, how long you been here? He was like, man, I've been here for 5 years. I said, okay, so you know, without no shadow of a doubt, you know that you cannot sail up with no punk, right? And he was like, oh man, so you one of them type of guys too? I said, hey, listen, man, hey, I can't tell you how to program, I can't tell you how to live. But let me ask you a question. You ain't see nothing wrong with you being in the cell with Lil Kim for all that time? He was like, no, I didn't see nothing wrong. I don't understand what's your angle. I said, are you gay? And he just got quiet. And then he's got to look into the ground, and he was like, why would you say that? No, I'm not gay, man. I'm not gay. I said, are you interested in this person? Is you interested in Lil Kim or something? And I said, you know what? Forget it. Why didn't you get Lil Kim out your cell? Because you know how we program here in this prison. If you ain't like that, he ain't supposed to be in your cell. So he was like, hey, bro, listen, I'm not gay, but I'll tell you this. I indulge. I said, what? Come again? He said, yeah, I indulge, man. What's the problem? I said, hey, you got to get out the cell, homeboy. He was like, what you mean I got to get out? I said, you got to get out this. And I said, you know what? I don't ask twice. So he was like, well, what you mean you don't ask twice? I said, hold on. So I go to my locker and I grab my sock. And he like, what you doing? Then I go and put my lock in the sock. He was like, hey, man, you ain't got to do that. I said, listen, I don't ask twice at all. Get up out this cell. He was like, hey, man, dog, that you don't even got to come to that, man. You ain't got to be that way. I said, get out this motherfucking cell right now. So he was like, all right, man, all right, just chill. So then he walked out the cell. He goes down there and he's trying to get the attention of the guards, right? But they ain't having none of it. They trying to get these new inmates, you know, cell assignments, right? So he like, hey, yeah, I really need to talk to one of y'all officers. And they like, listen, man, we ain't trying to hear nothing until we get these people in their cell. So he like, well, that's the thing. Before y'all do the cell assignment, do you think I can get out the room that I am? Because, you know, me and my cellie having, you know, some disagreements, and I wanted to lead to something else. So he like, the guard like, hey, man, this ain't the Motel 6. This ain't Burger King, man. You can't have it your way, man. Nah, man, go back to your cell. So he was like, as a matter of fact, everybody locked down. Everybody locked down, right? So we like, what? Well, I'm not like what, but everybody else is out there doing what they doing. Like, man, what? They're like, man, lock it down. Everybody lock it down till we get these people in they cell. So, hey, Freaky Freddy, come on back up there. And I'm sitting on the desk right now. And he just standing at the cell door. We all locked in now. And he like, hey, listen, man, I already talked to them. I said, what did you tell them? He was like, I ain't tell them nothing. I just told them, like, we having a little disagreement, and I feel like, can I get a cell change, And I was like, so what did they say? He said, man, they just locked us down. They locked everybody down. I said, listen, man, I don't know you, and you don't know me. Now, I ain't got no problem with, you being like that, you liking the boys or whatever, but you can't be in the cell with me, bro, because I don't rock that way, and I don't associate with cats like that. Now, yeah, I can do business with you type of dudes, but as far as us eating together, being in the cell together, nah, that's out. He was like, well, I mean, I don't, okay, I guess. I'm like, all right, man. So the guard come to the door. He like, hey, is it a problem up here? And, Freaky Freddy was like, no, it ain't no problem. But, me and this guy, I've been locked up for 15 years. And, me and this guy I can just tell we not going to get along. And the guard was like, well, what's the problem? You got to tell me something. He was like, well, it ain't really a problem. It's just, I'm older, he's younger. And, I just don't, I can just see us, having an altercation or some type of confrontation up in here. So the guard was like, you know what? There is a cell that's open, but, you won't be, I'll move you there tomorrow. Or I'll move you tomorrow. So he walks off. So Freaky Freddy like, is that good? Is that cool? I said, yeah, man, that's cool. It's all good. You'll be going tomorrow, so it ain't no thing, right? So then we all come off a lockdown, right? They pop the doors, everybody go back out, right? So I Freaky Freddy instantly leaves out, and I see him at the control booth, right? So he's over there talking to the guard, like, yo, what cell I'm going into? And they like, well, it's two cells is open right now. It's the one with Lil Kim, and it's a single cell. They was gonna put him in the single cell, but he was like, no, that's okay. This is my bunkmate a while back. Before I came to this dorm, can I get in there with him? And he was talking about Lil Kim, right? So they like, nah, man, nah, y'all ain't about to be doing no funny business under my watch. Nah, you going to that single cell, right? So Freaky Freddy was like, all right, bet, right? So about 5 minutes later, I get a knock at the door. Knock. I'm like, what's up? It's Lil Kim. I said, what's up, man? He was like, hey, your name Dante, right? I said, yeah, what's up? He like, you the store man, right? I said, yeah. He was like, oh, wait, listen, I don't really got that much. And then Freaky Freddy just come out of nowhere like, hey, what's up, man? Where you been at, man? And they get to talking. And now at this time, Freaky Freddy is in the cell, and Lil Kim is right outside the cell. And they just talking. They just catching up. He's like, man, no, I got you, man. No, everything on me. You ain't got to borrow nothing. So Lil Kim kind of stepped in the cell. I said, oh, whoa, hold up. I said, hey, man, y'all gonna have to roll up out of here. Or, he got to get up out of here. He got to stand up outside the cell, man. Ain't no way he finna be up in here. Nah, that's out, right? Lil Kim step out, and Freaky Freddy like, hey, man, listen, man, I'm about to be going tomorrow, man. You ain't got to be doing all that, man. But why you act like you just so homophobic or something, man? Like, you act like what's your deal? I said, what? He was like, yeah, man, I don't like that, man. What's your deal, man? That's what's wrong with you young dudes. Y'all just hate what y'all don't understand. I said, hey, man, listen, I ain't trying to hear nothing you saying right now. Matter of fact, I swear. So then I get up, right? At this time, I'm going back to the lock in the sock, right? I said, hey, man, check this out. You not sleeping in this motherfucking cell. You going to have to go today, or I'm going to kill you. He said, what you say? I said, hey, Nick. I said, you not sleeping in this cell. Either you going to get up and you going to leave out this cell right now, or I'm going to kill you. Freaky Freddy was like, all right, bet. Yep. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear, right? I'm like, hey, if you gonna do something, then do it. I don't want to hear all that sly talking, all that slick talk, right? He like, hey man, listen, I'm finna just go ahead and roll up right now. I'm finna pack it up right now. I said, all right, bet, you do that then. About 5 minutes later, here come the guards. Dante, what's up? Pack it up. For what? Pack it up. You know what you did. I said, what did I do? You ain't finna be out around here threatening people, especially because how they lifestyle is. I said, what you mean? Like, what are you talking about? So you didn't just threaten this man because of his sexuality? I said, no, I didn't threaten it. I said, no, man, he was in a cell. I said, never mind, forget it. Just forget it. They like, so it's going to be a problem or what? I said, no, man, it ain't going to be no problem, man. So I go back to the cell. So the guard like, hey, listen, we just going to go ahead and move him. You already been in here for the last 6 months. We just going to go ahead and move him. We just going to just leave it alone. But I promise to God, Dante, if you touch this man or you touch Lil Kim, you going to the hole for a year. I promise you that. I promise you going to the hole for a year. I said, man, I ain't even thinking about that dude, man. All right, man, whatever. So then Freaky Freddy come in there. He started packing all this stuff up, right? And then he walk out and he leave. That was my introduction to Freaky Freddy, y'all. That was my introduction to him. From that day on, me and him always had issues. Always. In hindsight, I ain't even gonna say that because that'll be wrong. That'll be wrong. But anyway, hey, y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all feeling this puppet thing. If you feeling this puppet thing and you want to see more stories of me telling these stories in this puppet way, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the new channel that's going to be pinned at the top of the comment section. And with that, y'all. Oh, one last thing, y'all. If y'all haven't became a member yet, make sure y'all become a member. I'm going to put Dante's members link at the top of the comment section too, because I'm finna be dropping my skits and my movies on there really soon. So only people that can watch it is the people that's going to be members, all right? So y'all make sure y'all, if y'all have not became a member of the Donta Show Network channel, make sure you become a member. And with that, y'all, I'm out. This prison story is about when Freaky Freddy ended up doing the unthinkable with his blood cousin in prison. Now, before we go on with this story, I need for y'all to do me a favor, okay? After this story go off, I need for y'all to go to the comment section, right? At the top of the comment section, okay? I need for y'all to click that link. It's going to take y'all to my brand new page where I tell different type of stories, all right? Go over there, subscribe to the channel, and the new videos is out over there, okay? Also, in the comment section, show me some love, y'all. Let me know where y'all from in the comment section. Put your area code in there, put your zip code, or even put your city or your state, all right? Because Dante could be out there skateboarding, right? And I could be jumping over the Grand Canyon, and I might fall off the skateboard and into a vortex and end up in your city, state, or town, okay? Or even your village. So let me know where you're from, so that way I can lay on your couch until somebody come pick me up. All right? And again, y'all, at the top of the comment section, make sure y'all subscribe to my new channel. All right, y'all, let's get to it. So we on the yard, right? And I see Freaky Freddy talking to the new guy. Now, this dude was maybe 5'11". He could have even been 6 foot, right? He was a healthy looking dude, maybe about 210, 215, right? So I'm looking at him like, okay, I know Freaky Freddy ain't putting the boot game on him. And for those that don't know the boot game, this is basically Freaky Freddy trying to wine and dine him and possibly physically overpowering him and trying to do something to him later on if he don't get what he want. Even though that wasn't how Freaky Freddy programmed, but every once in a while he did do that to, you know, weaker inmates. But it's rare that he have done that. So I see the new guy talking to him, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe, you know, Freaky Freddy, because normally I warn people about him, you know, because it's a sad thing to see somebody get caught up or jammed up in a situation, because prison already hard enough. You don't want it even harder with somebody trying to pound on your back. Pause, right? So usually I look out for inmates and let them know the deal, like, yo, hey, this is how this dude is, and if you like that, then it is what it is, right? But I didn't get to this guy yet, right? So I see them hitting the yard and they walking and they just laughing and giggling and talking together. So the way that, like in prison, you read people real fast, right? It's like, I don't know, I don't know, it's something like, you can tell like Freaky Freddy and a dude like knew each other out on the streets, right? So I'm looking and I'm like, man, they gotta know each other. They gotta know each other prior to prison, right? So I said, I summoned one of my homeboys to go over there and intercept the conversation, right? Now I know. A lot of y'all like, oh, Dante, you supposed to mind your business. You need to mind your business in prison. And what is that to you? Why you in a business? Well, let me tell y'all something. Forget what everybody be talking about when they be saying, oh, you need to mind your business. Everybody is all on man time and everybody keep it G. No, that's a lie. Everybody is always in everybody else's business. That's why it's always issues. That's why it's always problems. There's dudes that's always hating, jealous, and envious dudes that's always steady plotting and scheming and trying to get over on the next man. So don't nobody mind their business, all right? So I sent my homeboy over there and he come back like in 2 minutes. And I'm like, what's up? He said, man, that's bruh cousin. I said, that's his cousin. He was like, yeah, man, that's his cousin that's his blood cousin. I said, how you get all that? Why, by 2 minutes? He was like, shoot, they was talking about his auntie and all this and that. And I said, oh, okay, all right. So I just left it alone. So I'm walking past them and I hear Freaky Freddy telling him like, yeah, man, I'm definitely getting you in the cell, bro. I'm getting you in the cell, man. Yeah, man, it's really good to see you. And they dapped up and they walked off. And Freaky Freddy went over there by the weight pile and was doing what he do, right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all, Freaky Freddy wasn't over there to lift weights. Freaky Freddy is one of them type of old school prisoners that what he would do, and y'all just have to excuse me, y'all said y'all want the inside of these prison stories and what be going on with these dudes. Well, what Freaky Freddy would do, he'd go over there by the weight pile. He wouldn't be right there, but he'd be right there in eye shot, right? And what he'd do, he'd have his hand in his pants, right? And well, that's what he's doing. He's gunning whoever's right there on that bench, meaning he's looking at them and he getting off, right? Until somebody catch him and they threaten him, then he walk off. That's what he does. That's how he programmed, and that's just what it is, right? So he went over there and he got to doing what he was doing till he got finally yelled at and screamed down on, right? Then he just walk off. So we end up back in the dormitory, right? And I'm down there playing dominoes with all my homeboys, and we gambling, y'all. When I say we gambling, we are gambling. I got about 20 packs of ramen noodles down there. Man, I got about 15 Mountain Dews. I got a whole stack of honey buns, man, hot Cheetos, all that. Listen, y'all, it's Friday, right? And we about to, listen, the deputy that come on, the CO, he real cool. He let us, because usually we got to be locked down at 9 p.m., but he let us rock out to like midnight, right? As long as there ain't no issues, as long as there ain't no drama, as long when he get done with that count and ain't no issues, we good, right? So we out there, right? We playing tunk, dominoes, all of that, right? So I didn't know the cousin was already moved in Freaky Freddy's cell, right? Now remember, y'all, Freaky Freddy is a store guy too. I'm not the only store guy in this pod. Freaky Freddy is a store guy too, right? So his cousin is in his cell, right? And I don't know how he got moved in there that quick. That ain't the issue. The issue is this. The cousin is coming to the gambling spot that I was hosting, right? And he's coming with unlimited commissary, and he's losing. Now, my homeboy Al whispered in my ear, told me like, hey, he's still in Freaky Freddy commissary. Now, I don't know where Freaky Freddy was at. He probably was in his cell sleep, or he was somewhere else doing something that he had no business doing on God's green earth, right? But nevertheless, I'm like, I don't care. Shoot, that's between him and him. Now, it had to be maybe, I probably took maybe, let's just say 60 items from this dude, right? And he was like, man, hold on, I'll be back. And this dude came with a laundry bag full of commissary. There's about 50, 60 items in there too. He said, let's bet it all on one hand. Now, I said, now listen, okay, so in Tunk, if you hit 49 or 50 off the rip, you win, right? Also, another rule is if you drop and the other person catch you, you got to pay them double. Now, I told him, listen, because cats will do that real quick, you know. I can't tell nobody how to play cards, but, you know, cats are on first hand, they drop and just bam. And it's like a 60, 70% chance that you could win. But, you know, I told him, okay, listen, we'll do that. But here's the thing. You cannot drop on the first hand, and we're not doing doubles. And he said, all right, bet, cool, whatever. So we play. Bam, 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 right? We like in the 8th hand, and then he dropped, and he wins. So now he got about 100 to 120 items. So he just collected, and he go back to the cell, right? So I'm rubbing my head because really I didn't really lose anything. You know, he actually got what he lost anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really tripping. So he go back to his cell, and Freaky Freddy come out the cell, and he just standing there looking at us. So then he walk over there. He like, hey, my cousin was just over here. It was like, wow, what's up? He was like, just tell me, was he over here? And I was like, you go ask him. And he was like, all right. So he goes back to the cell, and he like, hey man. So we hear the conversation because he loud, right? He like, hey, I done told you already, man, you just can't be eating up my food, man. This is my business. You can't be doing that. So he like, his cousin like, man, cut it out, man. Man, cut it out before I make you. And it got quiet. So when he said that, we all like, what did he just say? Now, let me tell y'all something. In prison, you don't supposed to play with people. And when I say play with people, because wrestling can turn into a knife stabbing, you know, calling somebody out their name can get your head bust. But what he said, we all was scratching our heads like, what did he just say? And then he said it again. He said, don't make me make you, you know, basically go down on me like we did when we was kids. And we all just looked at each other like, man, what type of freaks this dude on? No, the cousin said, that's right, y'all. Freaky Freddy didn't say that. The cousin said that to Freaky Freddy. So we all looking at each other and we're like, hold on, man, tell me this dude was just playing. But the way he said it, he wasn't, it didn't sound like he was playing. So then he comes out the cell and everybody just looking at him. And he was like, what's up, y'all? Y'all wanna run a couple trade games? Now the trade games was basically you just betting for future trades. Me particularly, if I'm only betting future trades really for the hamburger and Friday. That's it. Other than that, I don't really eat nothing off them trays, except for the breakfast trays when they give you boiled eggs. I get them and I make a cook up or whatever. But anyway, he come out there and I'm like, no, I'm good. And he just asked everybody like, yo, can I gamble? Can we do trades or whatever the situation is? And he even went so desperate to asking cats like, yo, I'll clean your cell for a week if I lose, right? But nobody wasn't messing with him. So he go back to the cell and he go to Freaky Freddy. Well, you know, Freaky Freddy real name is Frederick, right? So he go back to his cousin Frederick and like, hey, look, let me get a couple items so I can gamble with. I'll get you back. So Freaky Freddy like, yeah, man, go ahead, here. So he give him about 10 packs of noodle and he come right back over there. He get the gambling with, he loses, right? He goes back to Freaky Freddy and get 10 more, right? Come back, win some, lose some, and he ultimately lose, right? He go back to the cell. Freaky Freddy like, no, I'm cutting you off. I'm gonna cut you off, man. So they in there arguing, right? And he say it again. So at this point, we like, yeah, man, this dude is weird, man. This dude, like, yeah, this dude is really weird. But hey, that's his cousin. They did what they did when they was younger. It's messed up. Maybe Freaky Freddy like this because of him, you know, doing what they did when they was kids or whatever. But I made it a point. And I told my homeboys, like, hey, y'all, we ain't dealing with this dude. Don't accept no money from him. Don't gamble with him. This dude is a real creepy dude, man. We just stay away from that dude, man. If he tried to do business, just cut him off. And I was just thinking of a reason to smash him off the door, put him on the glass, get him up out of there. Because I'm like, man, I don't know, y'all. It's just one of them things where kids get violated. Even Freaky Freddy. You know, Freaky Freddy, I don't know exactly how old they was when this happened. But, you know, I don't know. I just picture Freaky Freddy being a child, being violated by his cousin. And it just really made me upset. But I didn't have the grounds, you know, to do anything to this man yet, right? So I just say I'm just waiting for an excuse to do something to him. And it wasn't me trying to be a vigilante or be Freaky Freddy war daddy or anything. But I don't know. When I hear about kids being involved, I just get upset. And hey, it is what it is. So later on that night, you know, after we locked down, they in there arguing. And we all trying to sleep, but it's getting good. The conversation and the argument is really getting good. So Freaky Freddy like, hey, you gonna pay me what you owe me. I don't give a fuck, we family or not, right? Like Freaky Freddy is going off him. I guess his cousin told him like he ain't paying him nothing. He ain't paying him spit, right? So they just arguing back and forth. Now they bringing up personal. Now they bringing up the past again. Now they reopening and snatching off the band-aid of old trauma and old wounds, right? They put all their family business out. Apparently the granddaddy, like the whole family is a whole bunch of sexual deviants, right? Like the whole family is messed up, jacked up, from the grandfather on down. A whole generation of decades of messed up men in this family, right? So apparently the granddaddy was touching on all his daughters, right? And then when the daughters would have kids, he would touch on the grandkids, even the boys, right? And you know, he was the type of grandfather that would be at the Thanksgiving dinners, be at the Easter dinners, sitting at the head of the table. The aunties and cousins is telling the other kids, don't go sit on his lap. Don't go around him. He nasty, this nasty grandpa, you know, making a joke out of it, knowing what he has done to multiple people in the family. This is where Freaky Freddy come from, you know, generations of sexual deviancy, right? So we hear them talking, and he brings it back up, and he was like, man, why did you do that to me? This is what Freaky Freddy said. He like, why did you do that to me, man? And he was like, man, you was older than me, like you didn't know. So, we was just blah, 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 which I'm not going to say on, you know, this video because it's too explicit, right? So they just arguing back and forth. And Freaky Freddy was like, listen, man, you going to pay me what you owe me. You going to pay what you owe me. And he was like, hey, man, well, you're going to have to get it in blood. Now, when he said that, it don't matter what country you in. Look, let me start that over. When somebody say you going to get it in blood, it don't matter what continent you on, what country you on, what state you in, what city you in, what town you in, what village you in, what community you in, right? When somebody say, man, get it in blood, that means it's about to get violent, it's about to get physical, or somebody might lose their life if the other person don't back down and back down quick, right? So when he said that, Freaky Freddy was like, get it back in blood. He was like, yeah. He said, all right, say less. I'm assuming Freaky Freddy now just laid down and went to sleep, right? Or about to go to sleep. Because I didn't hear Freaky Freddy no more that night until about 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, Freaky Freddy got the bottom rack, and his cousin got the top rack, right? So I'm knocked out. And when I say I'm knocked out, you rarely get to sleep good in prison. But for some reason, I slept good this night, right? Until I heard, man, get off me. Get off me. Man, get off me, man. What is you doing? Get off me, man. What is you doing, man? Get off me. And then it got quiet. Now, when I heard that, I'm like, man, what the because I didn't know what cell it was coming from. And it's rare that things like that happens in our pod, right? Normally, if Freaky Freddy is doing something with somebody, you don't really hear it, right? And plus, he usually do that in the daytime away from everybody. But this was different. So now I'm up and I don't hear nothing else again, right? So at the count, fast forward at the count, right? Freaky Freddy go to the shower. And me being nosy, because I didn't see his cousin, me being nosy, because it was on my mind, like, man, what the heck happened? Freaky Freddy goes to the shower, right? And then his cousin come follow him. He come follow him right in there, right? So I was like, oh, I guess he all right. And then I hear it again. Man, what is you doing, man? Hey, what is you doing? Now, he wasn't screaming and hollering. I was just over there by the shower, right? Waiting to get in the shower because a line done formed, right, to get in the shower. Now, they is in there fighting. You can clearly hear them fighting. So all I'm thinking is, oh, they must be fighting because of what happened last night. They got to be fighting because of what the cousin owed him. He said he ain't give him nothing, and I guess he brought up, what happened when they was kids or whatever, and he told them get in the blood. So I guess they in there fighting, getting it in blood. But then, the bumping and the punches and stuff turned to something else. Yeah. It went from grunting to stop, man, what you doing? Man, what are you doing? And to, man, stop. The person that was saying, man, stop, and start sounding like he was in distress was the cousin. Listen, I don't want to continue this story because, and I know a lot of people that be at work be listening to my stories, and, I know y'all want me to drag these stories out, but my spirit don't even feel right even telling y'all this story. So I'm going to have to end it real soon. Long story short, y'all. Freaky Freddy walked out, right? He walked out like nothing happened. He go to his cell. He put his clothes on. I'm next to go into the shower, so I'm like, all right, man, this dude taking up too much time. So I go in. I bust a right, bust a left, and there go the showers. His cousin is right there under the stall, knocked out unconscious, and he's bleeding from where. I go to the farthest stall, wash up, and get up out of there. It wasn't my business. It wasn't my concern. Let me tell y'all something. Freaky Freddy, that day on, I looked at him differently. Oh, I didn't feel sorry for him at all. I didn't. I just realized that this man has no bounds. This dude don't care if you family or not. He only got one thing on his mind. The crazy thing is, I wondered, did Freaky Freddy try to mount him throughout the night when we heard, get off me, what you doing, get off me? Did he try to push up on him then? Freaky Freddy is a super apex predator, like a dog. Like dogs, if you breed in dogs, whatever, they would try to mate with their own mother. Freaky Freddy is a dog. Freaky Freddy is an apex predator that know no bounds. I know what y'all thinking. Y'all like, so Dante, what happened with the cousin? Well, he eventually got up, washed off, went to the control booth, and said, hey, I fear for my life. Can y'all please get me out of here? And they told him, well, you got to tell us what happened. What, because they don't know that he was just violated by Freaky Freddy. He was like, man, just get me out of here, man, or I'm going to start acting out. So they told him to come on in the control booth. They went up to Freaky Freddy room, packed him out, got him up out of there. Let me tell y'all something. And I shouldn't have to say this, but a lot of you cats gonna end up going to prison anyway. And it is what it is. I thought that, I could save the youth, but nah, in reality, these kids want to go to prison. These kids want to die. And y'all say, Dante, dang, that's kind of harsh. No, it ain't harsh. Let me tell y'all something. I was at Walmart yesterday, right? Yesterday, me and my wife went to go get some bikes. The whole nine. She got a basket. I got a horn. The whole nine. We went to go buy some bikes, right? To go bike riding. As I'm coming out, There's a black dude in a Tahoe turning like in front of me, right? And then there's another black young dude with dreads that's walking kind of on the side of me, but to the left, far left of me. And I heard what he said. He said, what he said, he was like, just give me a excuse to slide. And I was just thinking to myself, like, that's crazy for him to say that. Like, you that in the rush to die? You that in the rush to go to prison? How about you just go to the prison, bust out the guards' windows, and get a cocktail and throw something, blow up a car or something so you can go to prison? You that so messed up in your life, that your life is that so messed up that you want to kill an innocent man just because he's just driving? And the dude that was in the Tahoe didn't cut him off. He wasn't speeding up. He just looked at him and just said, I heard him. He said, just give me a reason to slide. And all I'm thinking is, man, go get a job, man. Go get a damn job. Go finish fucking school. Go get your GED or something. Because you know this nigga ain't graduate. You know what I'm saying? You got all that evil energy, demonic energy. And I get it now. This is why these kids is killing kids. Talking about just give me a reason to slide. Give yourself, if you know what they say, to be a killer, you gotta be a killer. To be a killer, you gotta kill somebody, right? How about do everybody a favor? And I know this might sound wrong in the mud, but it is what it is, man. These dudes that be just wanting to kill people or whatever, won't you just do the whole world a favor and just go to the bathroom and take your own self out? Spare the world grief because you want to wake up because your life choices got you feeling like you want to take somebody's life. Man, go be productive, man. Go join the army. Talking about this, give me a reason. It's like, go to the army and be all you can be. That really pissed me off, y'all, when I heard him say that. It really did, because dude looked like he was about 16, 17 years old. Just give me a reason to slide. Go slide back in Walmart and fill out a damn application. Anyway, y'all, my bad for that rant, but, man, listen. And I do want to backtrack on one thing. Out of 100 youth that I speak with, I probably save 2 or 3 of them. And that's what matters, right? As long as you can save 1, 2, or 3 people out of 100 each batch, I guess the work is done. But anyway, y'all, I apologize for my little rant. If you ain't subscribed to my new channel, make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to it. Let me know where y'all from in the comment section. And with that, y'all, I'm out. Y'all, today I'm going to share a story with y'all about when I had to save this real fragile black dude from the clutches, the claws of Freaky Freddy and his other booty bandit by the name of Felix the cat. So before we get to this, I need to update y'all some things on the channel. I'm starting a new program Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. where y'all can call in and share a crazy story with me, okay? It's really first come, first serve, right? So here's the contact number. Y'all see it across the screen. My contact information will be pinned at the top of the comment section. And also my Instagram, my Facebook, and my TikTok will be pinned in the comment section and in the description too. And before we go any further, y'all already know what time it is. Make sure y'all hit that like button, right? And let me know where y'all from in the comment section. Let's get to it. So I'm in the chow hall. It's me, Al, Torty, Homicide, you know, the regular crew. And we just finishing up our food, right? So I hear commotion in the hallway. Now, this is prison. You always hearing some type of commotion, some type of loud noise, people arguing, people fighting or about to fight, and guards putting down on people, right? But this one right here sounds a little eerie. It kind of reminded me of like in high school when you hear a bully pushing up on a regular cat, you know, a bully pulling up on a potential victim. So for some reason in my spirit, it just didn't sit right with me. I hear it, but it just didn't sit right for me. So I looked at my homeboys and they know that, look, it's time to go. So we get up, we get the mobbing towards the door. When we hit the corridor, who do I see? We see Felix the cat and we see Freaky Freddy. And they cornered this black dude, right? Now this black dude, he was about, I don't know, maybe about 5'8", maybe 120 pounds. Dude looked real young, like he had to be about 19, 20 years old, all right? Even though at this time, y'all, I was 25. But he just looked at like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so something in my spirit told me to intervene. Now, normally I don't intervene in other people's business, right? Unless if somebody's doing something that's going to put my business and my money in jeopardy, then of course I'm going to intervene. So usually I let things ride, but this one just didn't feel right. So I walk up to them and Felix the cat and Freaky Freddy like, what's up, Dante? I'm like, what's up? What y'all got going on? And they're like, oh no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is our business. I'm like, so what's going on, right? So Felix the cat, he was kind of snappy. He said, listen, Dante, this is our business, man. You need to mind your business. So I stepped next to the guy because they basically had him cornered, right? So peep the scene, y'all. So just imagine me and my crew, it's about 5 of us, including me, make 6. We right here, right? And then you got Felix the cat right here, and you got the young dude right here in the middle, and you got Freaky Freddy on the left side of him. They like pressing up on him, right? So I just walk over there and get on the side of him, like kind of move Felix the cat out the way, and like got side by side next to the young cat, right? And then my crew kind of encircled, right? So they like, man, Dante, you ain't got nothing to do with this, man. I'm like, yo, what's the deal with you? Because I know how Freaky Freddy program. I know there's had to be something that was exchanged. Like, 'cause for Freaky Freddy to move on somebody had to owe him some commissary. He had to collect on the debt. And that's cool. I never really intervened on, you know, people's business like that. But this dude right here seemed a little different. Like I said, I felt it in my spirit. So I said, what do he owe you? Freaky Freddy was like, man, that ain't your business, Dante. We done talked about this already. I said, what do he owe you? He was like, man, he don't owe me nothing. So I look at Felix the cat. Now, I'm gonna tell you all more stories about Felix the cat at a different time. But like I said, Felix the cat was a little snappy, right? So I said, what do he owe you? He like, it don't matter what he owed me. It's what I'm about to get from him. So I said, hold on. It ain't going down like that. So I tell him, I'm like, man, what's up? What's your dealings with these dudes, man? He like, nothing. I just met these guys. I met these guys and they keep pressuring me for SDX. So my thing is this, y'all. I can't tell another man how to program. But like I said, this was in my spirit to intervene. Because I felt like, if this young dude ain't no homosexual and you catch trying to press up on him and turn him out to feed your sexual demonic desires, Dante not having that. I guess that's why I felt that all the way in the lunchroom. So I'm like, no, that's out. If he don't owe y'all nothing for real, that can't be paid with commissary and y'all just trying to push up on this young brother, no, it ain't happening. Matter of fact, you just bag up. So, Freaky Freddy, he bagged up. But Felix, he's standing there like he didn't hear what I just said. I said, did you hear what I said? I said bag up. He said, all right, then you got it. And then he blew a kiss to the dude. I said, hey, come with me, man. So he said, man, thanks. I said, no, don't thank me. Don't thank me. So I told the rest of the crew to go ahead. So we end up hitting the yard, right? And we walk in the yard. I'm like, hey, man, first of all, what did you do to get in here? He like, man, I don't really want to tell you because it's bad. I'm like, you touched a kid or something or violated a woman? He said, no, I didn't, but my paperwork do say that. So I said, hey, go ahead, tell me the story. So this is the story, y'all. So he said when he was 18 years old, he went to this party, right? And he said he was having a good time. You know, he was drinking, he was smoking, but he wasn't like a big drinker, right? And he said, but he was a smoker back in the day or whatever. So he said it was a regular party, a regular house party. And he said this girl kept pressing him like she really wanted to get with him. And he said it was a bigger girl. He said he wasn't attracted to bigger women. And he was like, no, thank you, I'm good or whatever. But he said the chick just kept pressing him, dancing up on him, you know, pinning him down at the party. And, you know, everybody thought it was a joke at first, but, you know, he said as the night went on, she really was like trying to get at him, right? So he said she ended up giving him a shot, right? So he take the shot. Then he said he got to feeling woozy. He said maybe it was because I had too much to drink, or maybe because I was smoking too much or whatever. He said, but he ended up blacking out, right? So he said the next thing he remembered is he having tubes in his mouth and he in the hospital. He said he would later on find out that he was date, R-A-P-E, you know, he was date somebody put something in his drink, right? So he said he woke up like that and he was confused. He didn't know what was going on, right? So he said about 7 months later will come to pass. And people would say, hey man, you know, this chick said you got her pregnant and stuff. Now, at this time, y'all, he said he was a virgin. That's right, y'all. He said that he was a virgin and he never been with a woman, right? At the age of 17, he never been with a woman. So he was like, wow. So he said, man, I ain't got no dang kid. I ain't even been intimate yet. So what is people talking about? So he see the picture of the chick and he like, that ain't even my type, right? That ain't even, So turns out, 1 or 2 later, she ended up having a baby, right? And he ended up getting these papers served to him for the paternity test, because they trying to put him on child support. And he like, oh no, this out, this ain't happening. That's not happening, right? So he go through the legal procedures or whatever, and he's running into this chick here and there. She's like, the baby is yours. He like, man, we did not sleep together and all this and that. And she like, yes, we did. We did on your birthday. I mean, we did at this party or whatever. And he like, no, we didn't, man. Stop lying on me or whatever. Guess what, y'all? Guess what? The paternity results came back. And he is the father. So he confused. He like, I know what? No, I didn't. No, nah. I didn't sleep with her. Ain't no way. It got to be something wrong here. I can't. Then he got to thinking about it, and he said, you know what? I do remember her. I do. That's the big girl that kept pressing on me. Then he sat back and he said, she the one that date R-A-P-E me. She date R-A-P-E me. She the one, that last shot that I took that she gave me, she put something in my drink. And she took full advantage of me. And this is how she got pregnant. And then she gonna put this baby on me and then try to hit me for child support? So he said when it all hit him like a ton of bricks. He said his whole life just shattered, like boom, right? So he was said, like, well, I
mean, I got a kid, but this just not right. I don't know this woman. I don't want to be with this woman. And I was raised to have values, you know, honor a woman. When you get with a woman, you date women to marry them. You know, kids out of wedlock. So he said, nah, I can't do this, man. No, this woman tricked me. So he said he called the police. Y'all. And he told them, like, hey, I got these medical records that I was raped, R-A-P-E, some months ago. This is the chick that did it, and she got a baby, and it is mine, but she R-A-P-E me. They didn't take it serious. They looking at him like, oh, can you prove that it was her? How do you know it was her? I mean, yeah, y'all did sleep together, but I mean, what are we supposed to, there's no proof. How we don't know that you came on to her, right? And that's another crazy thing, y'all, because if that was a man that did that to a woman, it'd be over, case closed. So I said, okay. So what happened? How did you end up here? He like, well, so I pressed the legal issue, and she was telling me, like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. We did be intimate. You did sleep with me, and it was consensual. And you ain't finna sit up there trying to duck your responsibilities. But he's convinced that she, you know, set him up or whatever. So months ago on, and he just let it go. He said, all right, forget it. You know, this baby 5 months, years old. You know, she ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. Okay, I'm going to step up, and I'm going to be a father now. I'm going to do what's right. Even though I know this is wrong, how it came about with the baby here, okay, whatever. So he started getting the little girl, whatever. So he said, as time would go on, the girl kept pressing him. Oh, we need to be together. We need to reconcile. He like, reconcile? What you mean reconcile? We never was nothing. And she like, well, I want our baby daughter to grow up in a 2-parent home and all this and that. He like, listen, man, I don't even know you. And even from our beginnings was shady. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you, man. And I'm not even attracted to you, right? I don't want to be with you. I'm just going to be here to take care of this baby, and that's it, right? So she wasn't feeling that. So she kept pressing him week after week, day after day, hour after hour, right? So he said he was just losing his mental, y'all. He was losing it. He was having a nervous breakdown, like, this cannot be my life. This girl is flattening my tires, you know, calling my phone all day, all night. This gotta be a nightmare. So he said that he was sitting up in his driveway one day, and he was holding his baby girl on his lap, right? And he just looking at her like, this can't be real. This cannot be real. This can't be real, man. So he said, you know what? He said something snapped. He said he don't know what triggered it. Well, he know what triggered it, but he don't know what made his brain process this conclusion that he done came to. And that conclusion was to take out the baby mama, to take out the woman that violated him, to take out the woman that keep pressing on him and trying to force this relationship on him that he do not want, right? So he said he sat there and he said, I can't shoot her. I can't stab her. What else can I do? He said, I'm gonna cut her brakes. I'm gonna cut the brakes. I'm cutting the brakes. So after his time with his daughter, right, she come pick him up Pick him up, she's like, hey, baby daddy, and all this and that. He's like, man, whatever. So he give her the daughter, they go, right? Later on that night, y'all, he went to go get supplies or whatever type of tool to cut the brake line. So he go, cut the brake line, boom, bam, he get out of there. The next day, she goes to work. She gotta go take the baby to the daycare center, right? They driving on an expressway, accelerating 40, 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. And they on the expressway driving. Well, y'all know how it goes when traffic starts to happen. You gotta press on that brake. Well, while she pressing on that brake, the brake oil, the brake liquid is spraying everywhere. She don't know this. She wondering why the pedal is, going all the way down to the floor and ain't stopping. And well, when you going about 75, 80 miles per hour and there's nowhere to go, you right into the car that's in front of you. And well, rest in peace to that woman and the baby. He said grief overcame him. Grief struck him. And he just couldn't live with it. So he confessed. He confessed of what he did to the police. And well, we sentence you to life without the possibility of parole for premeditated murder. And well, now he's in here with us. He's in here with Donta. He's walking the yard with Big Donta, right? So now, as we walk in the yard, I'm kind of feeling some type of way because I'm like, dang, should I have let Freaky Freddy and Felix the cat, press on him and do what they wanted to do with him? But no, I couldn't knock that feeling in my spirit, right, of intervene. So I told him, like, listen, I for the first time in Donta's life, I was lost without words. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to look at this man. Whether was he a victim? Let me ask y'all a question in the comment section, okay? Do y'all think this man was a victim of circumstances? Or do y'all think that he's a monster for cutting the brakes? Do y'all think he was a monster for cutting them brakes and taking baby girl in the woman's life, despite the circumstances? Y'all let me know. Because still to this day, I don't know how to call it. Which brings me to my next part of this story. So I'm standing there and I'm kind of conflicted because I one thing about it, we're supposed to protect women and kids. Now, if this woman did him dirty, like he said that she did, because who really knows if this man telling the truth or not? But I kind of felt like he was telling the truth. But then again, it's like you got to protect women and children, at least the children, at least. So I gave him an ultimatum. I said, listen, I'm not 100% sure, what really happened, or if it happened the way that you said it exactly happened. But you're going to have to leave this compound, or you're just going to have to check in the hole or something. He said, man, my head is just so messed up. I said, listen, because here's the thing. I do offer protection, but it's going to cost. If it's for you, it'll be basically $400 a month, $100 a week. And, I can't do nothing for free. But at the same time, when cats learn what you did, cats gonna want to get at you. So, you know, it's just something in my spirit just telling me, like, to protect you, but this is a tough one, dog. I said, you got any money, man? And before we go any further, y'all, I didn't intervene in him for the money issue, but it had to make sense to my crew. No, I can protect him, but my homie's gonna ride with me. But the problem is, I'm putting them at jeopardy if somebody just want to get at them. I mean, business is business, right? So I was caught in a dilemma. So I told him, like, listen, do you got money? And he said, no, man, I don't got no. When I got locked up, man, my family abandoned me, friends, everybody. I said, okay, dang. I said, listen, I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you because it's just something about you, man. There's something about you. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something about you that I just can't shake. And I don't like that. I said, so I'll tell you what, man. You're going to have to check in. You're going to have to let the guards know that you fear for your life and you got to go, right? If you ain't off this compound in the next 2 weeks, if I see you, I'm gonna kill you. He said, what? I said, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. So he looking at me with this confused look. And I know a lot of y'all like, huh, Donta, you wilding out. Why would you? I'm gonna tell y'all why. You know, the things that he did to get him here, whatever circumstances it was, whether y'all believe him or not, it's a messed up situation. But I don't like being in predicaments where I can't call it. You know what I'm saying? I hate being in predicaments where I'm doubting myself, second guessing myself. And the reason being because I don't know whether to feel sorry for this dude or, you know, put prison justice on him for what he did to the child. So I'm conflicted. So I said, listen, if you not off this compound in 2 weeks, if we run across each other again, I'm gonna kill you. And I just walked off. So he just standing there, he just walk off the other way. So then I go to my crew. I said, listen, y'all, he got a 2-week protection. Don't nobody touch him. Don't nobody do nothing to him. 2 weeks. If he not going off this compound in 2 weeks, we gonna ice him. I said, all right, bet. So the regular homies walked off and Al was like, because Al stayed back. He said, Donta, what was the conversation about? I said, Al, it's best not even talk about it, man. Just know, if he ain't off this compound in 2 weeks, we icing him. But he under our protection for right now. He said, all right, say less. Let me tell y'all something. Everybody have their trials and their own tribulations. God give us all trials and tribulations. And we all have to walk this path. Some of us, you know, go through that fire. Some of us don't. Sometimes we gotta hit the great restart button in life and start over. It only takes one mistake, one action, one split second to get you life in prison. Lord knows I have my share of things that I done did out here. Thank God the statute of limitation is over with. But I'm here for a reason. I thought about this the other day. I said, dang, am I doing the right thing of telling these prison stories? Because I can always easily go jump back in the truck and make, well, a little less than what I'm making now on social media, right? And then I thought about it. I thought about all the calls that I get with mamas, uncles, grannies, even kids themselves calling my phone, not kids, but teenagers, saying, oh, gee, man, I just listened to this story and man, I was just about to do A, B, C, and D, but I decided not to because I was listening to your story. We're living in a time of uncertainty, y'all, where right is wrong and wrong is right. Keep Jesus and God number one. I'm out. Give me a call at 1-313-452-8981 if you want me to promote your online business or products or social media channels. Also, if you are watching this video and you didn't get my notification, unsubscribe to the channel, subscribe back to the channel, and hit the all notification button. I drop a new video Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, are you a member of the Donta Show Network? If not, I'm going to have the link pinned at the top of the comment section. Also, when you become a member of the Donta Show Network, I got exclusive videos teaching you on how to become a big, successful YouTuber such as myself. Again, the link to the memberships will be pinned at the top of the comment section. By the way, if you want to send a gift to support the Donta Show Network, send me a text message or give me a call at 1-313-452-8981.